All right. Let's get some vibes going here. I'm gonna bring the music up just a little bit. Bring the mic a little closer. All right. Actually, I think I can actually turn my ring light off because of how bright the game is. If it makes you feel better, I don't know either, though I'm not sure if I'm allowed to or not. I haven't inquired. Fair enough, Joel Rowe. I feel like the one person that is exclusively not allowed to know is me. Working on nothing feels like my daily life. Honestly, I don't know how I can feel like I'm always busy whilst getting nothing actually done. That, Sombra, is a fucking mood. That is a fucking mood. Insider information here. At this point, I have something like 10 or 11 half-finished songs. That if I can just catch myself a little bit of ADHD mania, there could be an album as soon as, like, January. It won't happen. It's going to take me a little more time than that. But I have so much music that is, like, almost done that just needs a few more things that I just can't seem to get myself to finish. Yeah, no, that is for you to not find out because it doesn't exist. I see, Alice. Got it. Does not exist. Understood. But sometime early in 2022, there will be another Sonderlust album. I think it'll be better for my brain if I wait until after Christmas with just everything else that's going on. Salt is hype fish, but anxious right now. Yes. So many salt secrets in this chat. There's so many secrets. December is the month of secrets. That's like me with painting my house. I have several walls that are painted but not finished. I feel like, you know, you paint enough. You paint enough and then you call it a day. Okay. Let's do dinner. Captain Caspian, I just zoned out. Oh, I missed that. I didn't know that. Captain. I didn't know that you changed. All right, that's really good to know. I appreciate that you told me that. But it is really good to see you, and thank you for being here. And don't worry about zoning out. It is a chill stream. I think you might have told me and I forgot because the last 2 weeks have been a blur, but thank you for reminding me that, and welcome in. It's very good to see you. I like the rolling part of painting walls. I do not like the slow as fuck painting around skirting boards and the top edge at the ceiling. Yes, hard agree. That is for somebody with way more patience to do. Captain Caspian is a really cool fucking name. That is a great name. I mean, Sea Phoenix was also a great name. I must say, you are very, very good at this naming thing. I painted my ceiling in my pre-pods days. Fucking sucked. Yeah, no thank you. No, thank you. Rather than paint my walls, I just cover them in posters. Because I'm still secretly 17 in my brain. What's patience? I'm only able to get anything done by having like 3 things going at once. That is also true. Alright. Let's get into the story. Let's do some reading. Once again, let me know about volume or anything. You say that, but I have exactly 0 posters. True. Fair. If I had a spare room for my computer stuff, it would be definitely covered in posters. Sombra, I'm going to let you in on a secret. I'm going to let you in on a secret right now. This isn't a spare room. This is the only room I have. I didn't do posters until university. I ramped up with posters in university. In Toronto... So people who've lived in Toronto for a long time will know about this. But there was a place on Yonge Street that is now on Queen Street called World of Posters. Oh, the poster sale also works, but I went to World of Posters. It was a store, literally all they sold were posters, and they had like massive oversized ones, and they had shit you couldn't find anywhere else, like fucking really, really obscure bands and shit. When I was in university, I had a poster about twice the size of my pirate flag, and it was a Mars Volta album cover. It cost me like $40. I think about 10% of their income came from posters. The other 90% was from, yeah, no, that's true. But damn, did they have great posters. But it was like a fucking like 5 foot by 8 foot poster of the Mars Volta's Francis the Mute album cover. And like, that was the best thing I'd ever found in my life. And it just took up an entire wall of my dorm. It was the fucking best. It may be a front, but it's a front that does its front business very well. Absolutely. Fuck yeah. In my bedroom, I try to keep things fairly zen. I have my collectibles in my lounge. That makes sense. Old flat with a small spare room that could fit the desk and a bookcase, so we collage all our cool posters on the walls in there. That makes perfect sense. I don't exist well in zen, because I am not zen. I've tried to be zen. It doesn't work. Every time I try to be zen, it just becomes like a very energetic kindness instead. So I've just kind of resigned myself to the fact that I will live in chaos for the rest of my life. But it works that way because it's a comfortable chaos. And sometimes it's just how it be. I don't do posters anymore. However, I'm surrounded by Transformers Beast Wars in my current room. Your collection is sick, though. The keyword there is try. Yeah, that's fair, Sombra. Here's to hoping I do well on my finals tomorrow on Friday. Heck yeah! I'm gonna send you those good vibes, Cap. That's amazing. Oh, I have not seen the collection? That's awesome. I like to hear that, Joe. I like to hear that, Joel. You've got this. I believe in you. Clothes all over the floor and plushies everywhere. Plushies everywhere? I have no idea what you're talking about. You'll be happy to know I was just dubbed basically Canadian again. Yes. Perfect. Whenever you're ready. Whenever you're ready. Just make your way up north of the border. We'll have wow, I can't even think of the word now. We'll have some flannels ready for you. We'll have a Tim's coffee for you. We'll have some Timbits. We'll get a poutine. And it'll be good times. And you'll be ready to go. And it'll be officially Canadian. As if I don't have any flannels already. No, but we'll get you a Canadian flannel. Like, you have gay flannels. But there's gay flannels, and then there's Canadian flannels, and then there's gay Canadian flannels. There's a difference. Gay flannels are for show. Canadian flannels are for warmth. Both are valid, but they have different purposes. Flannels for you are shirts, right? Because here a flannel is a small tower. Yeah, flannel is like hang on, I'll see if my flannel is washed. Let me check. It might be, give me 2 seconds. Damn. My flannels are all in the laundry, so. Yeah. Same material. Made with a plaid, so yeah, exactly. Y'all got it. It's 14 out right now. It was like 22 earlier. Fahrenheit? That's chilly for you. It is surprisingly warm here. It is 14 degrees. It's going to be 14 degrees Celsius tomorrow. Oh, wow. It's 14 Celsius for you right now. Yeah, it's about 10 degrees Celsius here. And it's going to warm up to 14 tomorrow. What in the fuck? Ooh, Joel has new setup. Let's go. It was in the 60s. Yeah, it was warm everywhere today. Winter just kind of gave up for the day. They're like, fuck it. Fall again. I don't know. That's how it be sometimes. Sometimes winter just gives up. It's been warm here for the last few days. I wonder if it has to do with all those tornadoes that happened in the States, and like that just would mess the weather system up for a bit. Can't wait for a dip below 9 so I can wear something other than t-shirts. Yes, get those sweaters out. Get that sweater weather going. Thanks, Colorado. We hate it. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. All right. Now that I've distracted myself thoroughly, holy shit, we've been streaming for 45 minutes. I haven't done a fucking thing. Good job, everybody. Great stream. All right, let's story time. Let's see the amazing Cove and Cygnus, and let's see what happens here. Lurk doing art with a friend. Have fun, wholesome kids, and very lesbian moms. Okay, Alice. Accidental just chatting stream. It's true. It's true. This is just my practice for Saturday. Saturday is going to be like 50% just chatting, because there are definitely some trolling moments that are going to be great. Alice, I'm sad you're going to miss the lesbian moms, but have fun with art. Art is important. Let's do this. Sunlight shone through the windows as you sat in your living room, your home phone pressed to your ear. Cove was on the other end. It had been shaping up to be an ordinary day, like any other, until Cove had called unexpectedly. He sounded unusually nervous greeting you. You listened silently as he kept talking, his words stilted. So, I was just, wondering, do you want to come over to my house for dinner tonight? Ooh, we got invited for dinner. The question came out strangely, almost like he'd rehearsed it a few times beforehand. Your eyes widened a little. You hadn't expected this to be the reason behind the call. Yep, I'll go. I'm already in.
That's,
It was, huh? Oh. It seemed that Cove still had more to say, and you just interrupted him. Oops. Cool. Well... He stumbled for a bit, trying to gather his thoughts again. Whoops, we were a bit too excited. We were a little bit overzealous on that one. Mom and Dad, they really want you to be here if your parents don't have a problem with it. They asked me to ask you. You took a moment to think. Dinner at home would be quiet and uneventful today. If you really wanted to, you could go to Cove's instead. Cove spoke up again, breaking your thought train. His voice was softer than before. Also, I want you to be there too. Aw, Cove! Can you? Come over, I mean. Yeah, I can come. I'll have to ask my mums. Yeah, I can come. I'll ask. Better to ask for forgiveness. Thanks, Cygnus. I'll let them know when I can. He sounded noticeably relieved by your response. Was you coming over for a dinner today that serious? He spoke to you a little while longer to explain what time to come over and other details, then hung up. And that was that. For now, anyway. Soon enough, the sun dipped out of the sky and evening came. It was time for you to head over to Cove's house. After letting Elizabeth know you were leaving, she didn't look away from the TV, just grunted. You made the journey across the street. You knocked a couple times on the heavy door to their condo. As you waited for an answer, you found yourself contemplating being a guest while both of Cove's parents were there. It was exciting, you were apprehensive, the idea made you curious. You didn't think it would be particularly interesting, you couldn't say you were thrilled. I am definitely curious to see how they are behind closed doors. You wondered why they decided to invite you out of the blue. Maybe you'd find out later tonight. You didn't have too much time with your thoughts, though. The door opened soon enough. Cove's mom, Kyra, stood in the frame, smiling warmly at you.
Come on.
Hey, Cygnus, welcome. Please, come on in. She opened the door wider and moved to make room. You stepped inside, allowing her to shut it behind you. Thanks so much for coming over. I know it was kind of last second. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Of course. Just make yourself at home. It's not my home, but I've been given permission to say that. Hey, Cygnus. Welcome to our humble abode. You jerked your head towards the sound of Mr. Holden's voice. He waved at you briefly from the kitchen, and with his back turned and a large spoon in hand. Hope you're hungry, because I'm whipping up a lot of tasty stuff. True to his word, you heard something sizzling on the stove. You closed your eyes and inhaled it. It smelled spicy and savory. With Mr. Holden busy, and Cove nowhere to be seen, it was just you and Kyra. She gave you a wry smile. He sure is. While I've been barred from cooking the entire time I'm staying here. Can you believe that? She nudged you with an elbow. Mr. Holden scoffed good-naturedly, then spoke from over his shoulder. You're on vacation, Kyra. You need to accept that already. She yelled back, amusement obvious on her face and in her tone. Who is this person? The lady? That is Cove's mom. And the man is Cove's dad. Mr. Holden, Kyra sandwich when? Yeah, like, here we are, just thirsting after all the fucking parents in this game. Oh, MILF. Oh, yeah. She doesn't look a day over 22. Nobody in this game does. Joel, that's the trick. Everyone in this game looks 22. Whether you are actually 13 or whether you are actually 43, you look 22. Everyone in this game is so ambiguously aged and anime attractive. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. People still cook when they're on vacation. Everyone's got to eat. It's not like I'm some celebrity who can go out for every meal or hire a private chef. I remember when I did Cove Lust and everyone had to tell me he was 13 in the scene. Yeah, I mean, to be clear, for everyone who isn't sure, Cove is still 13. We are still at 13-year-old Cove. He is not drawn like any fucking 13-year-old I've ever seen, but canonically in the story, he is 13 years old. I'm trying to figure out what he's going to look like at the next group when he's 18. I feel like he's going to look exactly the same.
Sorry.
Well, in this house, you're a VIP. Kyra smiled and shook her head quietly. Then she turned to face you once more. No. That dude in the top right corner is Cove's dad. That dude in the top right corner is Cove's dad. We'll see Cove in a second. It's like the Hollywood movies with high schoolers that are all played by 20-somethings. Fair.
Well.
Sorry about that, Cygnus. Here I was, trying to strike up a conversation with you, and Cliff just had to butt in. I don't butt in. She eyed him, chuckling in disbelief. He wasn't exactly disproving her point with that. Cove is an early teen, the way Sailor Moon is an early teen. Yeah. Convincing when you're 12, not convincing when you're old enough to know what actual high schoolers look like. Absolutely. Kyra leaned over to whisper to you. It's okay, he likes to be included, but since Clifford insisted on cooking all by himself, he'll have to wait. The two of us can chat. Tobey Maguire getting bullied by a clearly 35-year-old Flash Thompson. Yes. My favorite thing about Tom Holland Spider-Man, say what you will about Tom Holland Spider-Man, there are critiques, blah, 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 blah. But my favorite thing about Tom Holland Spider-Man is at least they kind of act like late teenagers. I love that musical Dear Cove Holden. Holy fuck. frankly, I'd rather adults play kids than have kids on set. Yeah. It's really tough. It's really tough because like having kids on set is dangerous when not done correctly. You're not wrong, Pint. Her next question continued to be said in a hushed tone, just to be safe. So, how are you doing? Doing good, things are okay, not really sure. Things are good. I sort of wonder if anyone does CGI or whatever to make adults look younger. Probably. Honestly. Hollywood, yeah. Yeah, exactly, Pint. I was trying not to quite go down that conversation route, but yes, absolutely. I already had a mini rant about that on Twitter today. She opened her mouth to say something more, but some lightly pounding footsteps caught your attention. Shows like 8th Grade and Show Penis Show, mind the name, it's actually a really fantastic show. Actual high schoolers acting as awkward as they are, it's refreshing and honest. The film 8th Grade, yeah, the one that Bo Burnham did. I haven't yet actually watched 8th Grade, I keep meaning to, but the thing I keep seeing time and time again is how much care and effort Bo went to not only make the acting in 8th Grade very, very, very genuine, but also going to extreme lengths to make sure that all of the young actors involved in 8th Grade were so protected and so safe. And like that's been said by the actual people on the show as well. Do mind the name, but I just finished Pen 15 and it's incredible. I will have to check that out. Not ever really that, but just the good old, yeah, the good old Macaulay Culkin. Yeah, exactly. You check to see Cove emerge from the hall a few moments later. He might have heard all the commotion and left his room to see what was going on. There's our 13-year-old. He quickly took stock of the situation. His cheeks tinted pink at the sight of you standing in his living room, and his hand came up to rub his arm almost bashfully. Cygnus, you made it. Thanks for coming. Cove's voice was unnaturally loud, as if he thought you wouldn't be able to hear him where you were, only a few feet away. Hi, Cove. You doing okay? Yeah, I'm fine. He didn't sound convincing at all. You narrowed your eyes suspiciously, but didn't call him out on it. He is nervous about something. If you could talk to him alone tonight, maybe you'd ask him what's going on then. It was when you glanced away from Cove that you noticed his parents watching the two of you interact. Cove noticed their stares too, meeting them with narrowed eyes.
So...
Are we having dinner now? Not yet, bud. I'm still cooking. Alright, I'm gonna go back to my room. As he turned to leave, he bent his head to the side to face you. You coming? The question was quiet, but you heard it clearly. You smiled, pleased that he asked, and nodded in the affirmative. Cove turned fully and made his way down the hall. Have fun, you two. We'll call when food's ready to go. With that, you followed after Cove. The two of you made your way down the hall. It was the first time you were invited to see Cove's room. You've visited Cove's room before, but only rarely. I get the feeling that I don't come over very often, which is why it's such a big deal that I've been invited for dinner. So I'm going to say I visited Cove's room before, but only rarely. Cove got to the door first, opening it and stepping inside. You joined him. There was a mat on the floor in front of the door. As you stepped over the threshold into his room, you felt the crunch of sand beneath your feet. The sensation was nothing new to you, of course. Cove constantly came back to his room covered in sand, not bothering to clean himself off at the front door, and usually got it all over his personal space. That's just how he was, a little bit of a mess. You hadn't heard Mr. Holden ever scold him for it, not like your moms would have if you'd done it. You can sit wherever you want. Cove took himself a seat at the edge of his large bed, looking like the picture of comfort, and left you to decide. We're sitting beside Cove! As soon as you sat next to him, Cove grew tense. His back went stiff, and he ducked his head away. He tried to hide a trembling smile. Aw, he got it bad. He got it bad. He got it bad for Cygnus. He got it bad for Cygnus. He's got the sickness for Cygnus.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. He said it under his breath as if he didn't want you to hear. You obviously did, and easily since you were right beside him. Oh, he is so bashful. He's got it so bad, this poor kid. You were nervous about that. You smiled comfortingly at him. You chuckled over it. You felt very charmed by his reaction. We're going to try and make him feel better. He raised his eyebrows. You both kept noticing the other's every move. Yeah, it's really fucking gay. It's the best. Like an open book. Oh, do we call him out? Do we call him out? Oh god, there's so many different flavors of calling out Cove to choose from. You only shrugged back. It's nothing, don't worry about it. You're like an open book, you know that? You're such a sweet guy, or you're adorable. Let's give him a compliment. Let's see how red in the face we can make him. What? Clearly, he hadn't expected the compliment. Somehow, his flush grew worse, spreading all the way down his neck. He fumbled for words. Let's fucking go! Let's fucking go! That's... He gripped the blanket underneath him and searched for something more to say. Did you see my fish? I've got some in a tank right there. So, speaking of segues, Cove threw both his hands in front of him to direct your eyes towards his pets. Please stop looking at me. Cove literally was like, do not perceive me. He was trying to pretty poorly change the topic, that much was clear. You decided to show him mercy, and allowed it. You started to watch the bright fish swim. There were a bunch of them floating to and fro in the open space. They stood out starkly against the green aquarium plants. How long have you had those fish? Experiment. How red did they let his character art get? It's true, right?
I guess.
My dad bought them for me not long after I moved here. I guess it's been years now. Wow, that's a long time. You peered carefully into the tank. The fish looked to be doing well. He must take good care of them. Most of them were small, but there was one especially big one. Anyway, here's a segue. I bought this two-wheeled self-balancing vehicle. Hey! Let's go. Love it. Well, when you live for 5 billion years and the sun is a red giant, pretty red. Wait, no spoilers. I mean, Lefteris doesn't live for 5 billion years. I don't know if I've actually gotten to Lefteris' death arc yet. I haven't played a game where Lefteris dies yet, so he's still alive. He's been alive for a couple hundred years because he was cryogenically frozen, but, you know, that's how it be. What are their names? I don't name them. Well, not really. You lifted an eyebrow at that. He continued the explanation sheepishly. Lefteris can never die. He's an idea. They're just gonna keep making Cove chapters every 5 years for the next 5 billion or so. Yeah, fair. I mean, Lefteris already has a generation. Like, Lefteris already has a son and a granddaughter, and like a great ancestor, literally 1 billion years in the future. So there's lots of room for the Gonzalez family to live on.
I mean...
Didn't Lefteris also exist within the Numenera world, explicitly set 1 billion years in the future? No, that was perfect timing, Canned. It wasn't Lefteris who existed in the Numenera world, but it was one of Lefteris's, someone from Lefteris's line, like, thousands of generations later, but is also a Gonzalez. I mostly just call them things based on what they look like. Squirt for a small one, tangerine for a really orange one, that sort of thing. I've had a lot of fish, and I'm not that good at coming up with names. Found that funny, found that surprising, I found that funny. Who knew that was a weakness of his? It was an entertaining revelation. Oh, a couple of them have other types of names. He pointed to a small orangish red fish. It was minding its own business away from the others. My dad named her Dreamcatcher, and that other one's Mark. Mom came up with that one. Cove smiled to himself, his eyes reflecting on the glow from the tank. You let other people name your fish?
It's nice.
Yeah, it's nice. He turned to you, tilting his head to the side. There was a considering look on his face. Are we going to get to name a fish? Yeah, but he also named a fish Dreamcatcher, so, like, he's got some creativity in him. Oh, Kaya is officially on the plane. That was the message I just received. He then turned to you, tilting his head to the side. There was a considering look on his face. Do you want to name one? Can I? His smile grew a little at your interest. Sure. There's a few that don't have names right now, the newer ones. You can pick which one you want to name. Yo, I can fix that. How you doing? Hang on. I'm gonna show this on screen. This is the snap that I just got from Kai from the plane. So, Kai sends their love. Name the fish Kai too. Oh my god. He pointed at he pointed each of the recent acquisitions out to you. I'll do that if it like straight up lets me type out a name. I just might. The first was the smallest fish in the tank. It was completely orange and zipped all over the place, running laps around the others. The second was slightly bigger and red. Its tail was dotted with black spots, which almost resembled freckles. The last fish was the biggest one. Its multicolored scales... oh, yep, thank you. I didn't switch back. Thank you. The last fish was the biggest one. Its multicolored scales rippled under the bright light of the tank as it slowly made its way across the vast expanse. Thank you, Cal. Koi pie, oh my god. You went with... the big gay fish. Cove only nodded at your answer, waiting on you to decide for a suitable name. You watched the fish you chose closely. As you did, and a name eventually came to you. Okay. Oh, type in your own answer. Let's go. Frank, Sunbeam, Gil. That's cute. Cygnus, Cove. Type in your own answer. Koi pie. Because that's hilarious. Koi poi. Alright, it's koi pie. Cove is like, I have no idea what you're talking about, but we're doing it. Koi poloi, oh my goodness. With that, his attention moved from you to the tank. He peered fondly at it and its inhabitants. You smiled proudly at Koi Pie as it swam through the tendrils of the plants, disappearing and then reappearing soon after. Excellent, another way to mistype Kai's name. So many. You noticed then that Cove was sitting closer to you than he was before. He must have scooted over at some point during the conversation. Ooh, let's go again. Yay, teenage boys in love. This close, your shoulders were almost brushing against each other. Your heartbeat picked up a little at the realization. You know, I'm not allowed to have pets in my house, not even fish. The corners of Cove's lips turned down at that. That doesn't sound fair. It's not like a fish would make a mess of your house or anything. You just gotta take care of the tank and feed them and they'll be okay. Right? My moms can be strict over the weirdest things sometimes. Yeah, moms, let me have a fish. They trust Elizabeth and me to go around the neighborhood alone, but they won't let us have a pet? It doesn't make sense. Maybe when you're even older they'll let you? I don't know, they seem pretty against it. Jeez, moms, let us have a fucking pet. Your current conversation brought to mind a memory from years ago. You launched into it without any warning, earning you a brief, confused look from Cove. Cygnus, is this seat empty? Cove, that is my lap. Cygnus, and... literally in 5 years, that's fully what I expect. Get a hamster. Hamsters are cute. One time, Elizabeth, came back from playing at the beach and just shut herself in her room. She only came down for food, and then she ran back upstairs straight after. It was kind of weird. My moms didn't think of it much at first, though. But then at night, Ma went to her room to say goodnight and started screaming. Mom and I ran over to see what had happened. Lizzie had this huge lizard in her arms. Cove's eyebrows rose at that, and he leaned forward in interest.
Really?
A lizard? Where'd that come from? Elizabeth said she saw it half buried in the sand and didn't know what it was. Then she pulled it out and got the answer, so she brought it home. Had a hamster as a kid named it Jesus. It came back from the dead, then died on Easter. What? What? Joel just casually dropping that he had a zombie hamster as a kid. What? Peach is stupid, baby. She could never come back from the dead. Peaches is precious, and we love Peaches. Just like, I think I have it on authority that Jesus' favorite Netflix show is Nailed It. Oh my god! What an entrance! Holy shit! Yo, XR Tech, what's good? Oh, fuck. Oh, wow. Wow. Huh, we're doing alright. I hope you're doing well, XR. I'm just... was not prepared for that one. So about this lizard. She hid the lizard in her room for most of the day because she wanted to keep it. Mom and Ma were not happy. They worried about putting it out during the night, but she was going to have to let it go in the morning. Lizzie was really upset. She did bring it back to the beach eventually, but she wouldn't talk to anyone for days. When she did get over it, it was almost like it never happened. You laughed, thinking back to that time. Elizabeth has always been stubborn, but when she was younger, she forgot grudges quickly. Now, it wasn't so easy. Cove had been quiet for most of the story, apart from the reveal of the lizard. He had a thoughtful look on his face. I can't even imagine what it would be like to have a sibling. You gave serious thought to his statement before you told him, "It's fun, there are ups and downs, you're lucky. It's a nice idea in general with my sister's Elizabeth." Oof. There are ups and downs, it's never perfect. So hamster was like super close to death at least, took it to the vet said, "It's gonna die." I put it in a box and left it by my bed overnight to live its last night. The next day, the box was empty. Had to search. The hamster was alive and well. It lived a couple more years and then died on Easter. Wow. What if we're living in a post-apocalyptic world because the second coming of Jesus was Joel Rowe's hamster and we all missed it? Did the box have a big stone wheel for a lid? Holy fuck. It was a risky intro, but I went for it. Yeah, no, that's valid. I mean, it was funny. It was good. I have a lot more to say about that hamster. Holy. Having a sibling is okay, but sometimes she'll come into my streams and throw money at me to make me suffer. Yeah. I mean, if I give people the option to throw money at me to torture me, people are going to do it. And the people who are going to do it are the people who are going to get the most enjoyment out of it. My brother never came to my streams or gave me money. Sometimes you just need to have a little sister who needs to get a lot of years of revenge. Hello! 14 servers just died. I'm assuming you mean all of the servers for Final Fantasy XIV and not just specifically 14 of them. That sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. I have years worth of getting back Assault. That is true. That is very true. That is very true. It's fun to have her there when she wants to be there, but now Elizabeth barely feels like hanging out with me. Story was just getting good. Oh, Pella, I am so sorry. My emote and I... Let me just... There we go. I'm really sorry. That really sucks. I will fight the 14 servers. I will fight the 14 servers. Bring me to Applebee's. I will fight the 14 servers. Cove pursed his lips at the words, considering them quietly for a while.
Cool.
That's interesting. I think your family is cool. They died despite you. It does feel like that sometimes with that game. He didn't really have much else to say, though while you're on the topic of your family, you considered your relationship with your moms, too. They were absolutely the best. They can be strict, but they're absolutely the best. They died just like Joe's hamster, which lived to spite God. Cal, what is Chat, what is happening? No, our parents are fine. Our parents are very much alive, Pella. The parents in game have not died. The servers died to spite you. Cal was saying that 14 servers died to spite you, just like Joel's hamster lived to spite God. Holy fuck. Chat versus hamster. What? I was just talking in the past tense about them. Oh, that was because I'm an idiot. Put simply, that's because I'm dumb. You couldn't even consider having another option. You couldn't have better parents. Well, say what you want about them, but at least your mom's never tried to pay somebody to be your friend. That thought prompted you to look over at Cove. He probably still didn't know what happened. Listen, I was an enterprising 8-year-old kid. What do you want from me? Do not. You doubted that Mr. Holden mentioned it, and you never had. You wondered if you should tell him. It was a long time ago, but you were keeping a secret from Cove. You didn't tell him it was a bad time. You didn't tell him you weren't sure how he'd react. You didn't tell him secrets are meant to be kept. You didn't tell him. You just didn't want to have that talk with Cove. You decided to tell him. The game gives you 5 options. 4 of the options are straight up just... And one of them is just kind of like, do it. Do it, you coward. That is wild. Say nothing to our graves. We will take this to our graves. If Cygnus dies before Cove, Cygnus will say on their deathbed and die. This would be a tough one for me. I hate secrets, but damn, that one. would that one hurt? Yeah, exactly, Joel. So here's the thing. We didn't fully know, well, we kind of knew. He was basically like, here's 20 bucks, like, hang out with my kid. And I was like, sure. And then he turned out to be, like, legitimately my best friend. I didn't even know that it was setting me up for the main character. So I was like, You didn't tell him. Secrets were meant to be kept. Mr. Holden told you not to tell anyone, especially not Cove. You didn't want to break his trust. Time passed, but you didn't really notice. The two of you were busy, making plans for the rest of the summer and chatting about your respective days. Eventually, you heard a muffled holler from a different part of the house. You and Cove both raised your heads in unison.
Oh.
It's time for dinner. Cove watched the firmly shut door. Cove watched the firmly shut door he had been locked behind for most of the night, but he didn't make a move to get up from the bed. I'm working on my expense report now because I'm going home tomorrow and I'm off for the rest of the year. XR, that's fucking awesome. That is amazing. 2 weeks straight of holidays? Let's fucking go. Hell yeah. We love to fucking hear it. Uh-oh, I feel like I just missed something big. The game gave me the option once again to tell Cove about the fact that his dad paid us to be friends with him in the beginning. And when it gave us the options to say yes, tell him the truth, or don't tell him the truth, there were 4 options saying no, don't do it in different ways, and only one option that just plainly was tell him the truth. We chose not to because I am keeping this secret to my fucking grave. You never miss chat being terrible people. We're always terrible people. You're the best. I love you all. I've been following this mobile lab bullshit for 2 weeks now. And if you ever try to get medical device reps and surgeons to follow rules and simple instructions, holy shit. That's what I've heard. I have heard, I don't know where you are. I know somebody who works in the medical industry in the States. Like, they're in Canada, but they work for a company in the States, and it is apparently hellish to try and organize anything. Yep, I think that's the right choice. I agree, Sombra. We're taking that secret to our grave. You couldn't see his face, so you didn't know what expression he was wearing. I'm glad you came. Cove peeked back at you from the side. It's been awkward. I get that. It's been hard on you, huh? You felt sympathetic towards him. You didn't know what he was going through, but you cared about him. Cove said nothing else and remained sat where he was. Now would be as good a time as any to ask him why his parents suddenly wanted you to come over. We can't use the X-ray equipment until it's registered and inspected, and until we have proper protective equipment. Well, why not? We need to use it. Bruh, it's illegal. Illegal. It's an X-ray machine. It shoots X-rays. They're dangerous. That's why you can't use it until it's set up. Like, we need to use this nuclear reactor. It hasn't been made safe yet. We still need to run the last few tests to make sure that it's safe. But we need to use it, so we're just gonna. Is there a reason they wanted me to come over tonight? Having a medical degree does not a smart person make. There are different types of intelligence. It hasn't been awkward for just me. Sometimes it gets like this when no one else is around, but now you're here. Huh, you hadn't considered that, but it sort of made sense in a way. There was another shout from outside, too muffled to actually know the words, but you could imagine what they were. Let's go. Cove finally got up, lumbering away with his shoulders sagged. You followed after him. Together, the two of you made your way back to the living room. As expected, Cove's parents were politely waiting for you at the kitchen table, beside the windows, overlooking the back of the house. Food had been prepared and set. Damn it, Jim. I'm a doctor, not a nuclear physicist. Yes. I hope everyone's hungry. I cooked up a feast.
Yeah.
I know I am. Yeah. Cove's mumbled response wasn't nearly as upbeat as theirs. His parents didn't notice, or they pretended not to. Mr. Holden instead looked at you, grinning.
Thanks.
Let's just all take a moment to thank our special guest for being with us here tonight. I'm so glad you were able to make it, Cygnus, and on such short notice, too. Mr. Holden. Cliff. Clifford. Cliffy baby. Let's just you and me have a moment here. And for the record, before chat ever says it, I'm aware that what I'm about to say to Cliff can also be applied to me, but that's why I'm giving Cliff this advice. Not everything that you say has to be a performance, Cliff. You could just say, hey, Cygnus, thanks for coming by for dinner. That's it. That's all. Don't do that to a 13-year-old kid. Just don't. You thank Cove's parents back for inviting you. Didn't say anything to that. You just felt awkward about the situation. I will thank the parents back. Do I think the food will be good, or do you think he's inept in the kitchen? It is 50-50 with this man. It's a coin toss. Everything he does, he's either amazing at it, or he's a shit show, and there's no in between. I'm happy to be here. Thank you both for inviting me.
All right.
Well, that's it. Everyone, please dig in. You can help yourselves to the food. Upon his encouragement, you looked over at the meal spread out in front of you. There was a large salad in the center, surrounded by a variety of Mexican dishes. There were lots of sides and optional sauces to add. Okay, if this food is good, I'm actually in love with Mr. Holden. Because I fucking love Mexican food. Very happy with these options. You could work with it. Yeah, fuck no, very happy. Let's go. We love Mexican food. You love Mexican food, and there were so many dishes to choose from, you were practically drooling. Yep, that is a fucking mood. Utensils and plates scraped and clinked together as the group began filling their plates. Latin food, Latin men, yes please, just all Latin everything. I'm totally... Oh my god! Yeah. Yeah, let's not with that. Cliff, could you please pass the salsa verde? Of course.
Thanks.
Thank you. Let me just say, you really outdid yourself tonight. I am so jealous. Rad. Thank y'all. The servers are back. I hope the line isn't too bad, Pella. Salt gives very... 552. Okay, hell yeah. Salt gives very good advice, but very seldom... Okay, yeah, listen, Pint. Shush. Yes, yeah. Pella has been playing Endwalker, and because of all the hype for it, it's been very difficult to get in, and also because they want to make more servers, but they literally can't because of tech bros, and there being like superconductor shortages. I thought like restaurant servers, I was so confused. I thought there were like restaurant servers in the game that died. Joel. Holy shit. Overcooked 3 is intense. In Overcooked 3, if you don't get the food out, the servers just fucking die, dude. Like, I didn't think that Team 17 had the balls to make Overcooked 3 into a fucking rated M game, but here we are. Holy shit. Let's fucking go. I'm getting that shit day one. That demo is amazing. That's just what working in food service is like. The food service industry, if it was really the way that Karens wanted it to be. Welcome to the real Hell's Kitchen. Thought they were like characters in a game who were servers, and she was sad they died. I mean, that would not be the weirdest plot line in Final Fantasy XIV, I don't think. I'm tired. Joel, you're valid. It's fine. You are perfectly fine, Joel, but I couldn't miss the opportunity. I'm currently at the edge of the universe. See, that is... anything can happen in 14. Why not? You're doing great, sweetie. Perfect. Also, sorry, back up to what XR said. Been on the road for work for the past 2 weeks, so you haven't been able to play Endwalker. It'll still be there when you get a chance to, XR, and hopefully by then, things have chilled just a little bit. It literally wasn't until she said all the servers were back. Yeah, because basically 14 can't make any more servers because there's the superconductor shortage, so they physically can't make any more servers. So with all of the extra hype towards 14 with Endwalker coming out, there have just been obscenely long wait times, like queues of like 4,000 to 6,000 people to get into the game, which is rough. And there's nothing you can do except ban NFTs and cryptocurrencies. There is an everything shortage at this point. I mean, that is also true, Pint. That is also true. Plus the exodus of other players from other MMOs, like WoW. It's true. It's true. Asmongold and all of the other WoW players really boosted 14. I thought there were also 14 servers, like a total of 14 people who are servers. Also valid, Jolro. Because Blizzard and Activision have fucking gone up in flames. As they fucking should. As they fucking should. Imagine tanking your own company just because you aren't willing to punish rapists. I don't need Overwatch 2 that badly. Sorry, I really don't. I don't need Diablo 2 too. It's fine. There are a million other games to play. She came in saying, hello, 14 servers just died. My brain didn't parse that right. No, that is valid, Joro. I know this because I know that Pella has been playing 14 almost exclusively for the last 2 weeks. When your company is so shitty that even WoW players... Yeah, when World of Warcraft players hate you so much, they stop playing World of Warcraft. That is a sign. My friend group even stopped their Warzone Wednesdays, migrated to another game. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Like, I wish I could say I stopped playing Overwatch because of it, but I had stopped playing Overwatch a year earlier. But, like, if I had still been playing Overwatch, I would have been done. There's no amount of Toronto map and Canadian hero that can bring me back to that game now. It can't. It's fucking tainted to me. And I have a funny feeling that all this shit going on is a big part of the reason why Jeff Kaplan left, too. Started playing Star Trek Online and it's fun and also free. Oh, that's cool as shit. I do not have time for MMOs. I respect everyone who does, but it is not for me. Oh my god. Kai, how are you still texting me? You should be on a plane right now. I literally just got a fucking Twitter message from Kai from the plane, I'm assuming. That is just... Oh my god. It is just a tweet that says anyone can wear the mask with this image. I want to see if it'll actually come up. Ah, it's too fucking bright. Hang on, I'll turn the brightness down. with this image on it. Thanks, Kai. Thanks. Anyone can wear the mask. Good God. Brother plays that when he's not playing Destiny. Planes have Wi-Fi these days, but yeah, but Kaya's on an Air Canada plane, so like that Wi-Fi is not good. I don't have time for MMOs either, but executive dysfunction, fair enough. My bottle of Ambien is right next to my bottle of Ritalin in my bag, and it's very much a Matrix red pill, blue pill moment. Jesus fuck, XR. You fall. Thank you for the follow, Alexei Simps respectfully. Holy shit. That is a fucking name. Welcome in. Thank you for the follow. That is such a good name. Holy shit. Choose one, you'll sleep for the next 8 hours. Choose the other, you'll be awake for the next 8 hours. Choose both, and you will see into all dimensions simultaneously, but also die. Please don't take both, XR Tech. That was, for legal reasons, literally, that was a joke. That gave me chest pain. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Hey, remember when this was a wholesome stream about cute kids being adorable? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Mara, I'm so sorry. You requested this game for wholesome times, and we just are not capable. That lasted for all of 5 minutes. It's true. What happens when you step on the gas and the brakes at the same time? You get a really sick burnout. That's what you get. So how about this dinner, huh? Jealous? Jealous of what? Your cooking's nothing to sneeze at, Kyra. Cove's parents made small talk, filling the silence with what seemed to be barely any effort. You chimed in as well. How long did it take you a long time to cook all this, Mr. Holden? Sick burnout is what I call my mental state. Azura! Everybody with the god tier entrances tonight. Hello. Hello. Holy fuck. Yo. Welcome in. Yes, shout out to Hellcataz. We love Hellcataz. Yeah, shout out to Hellcatazura. Amazing human being. I can type welcome. Welcome to Hellcatraz. Once you're in, you can never leave, but that's okay. Because there are goth girlfriends in fishnets. I fucked up the delivery. But Hellcatraz. Right, it's been a great stream. My ability to speak is done, so thank you very much. Yeah. Good night, everybody. This has been good. Hour and a half before my mouth completely stopped working. Let's go. Wonderful. Your brain got distracted by goth girls and fishnets. It's okay. It is true. It is true. It is true. Okay. Yep. I deserve that. I deserve that. I earned that one for sure. I earned that one for sure. Story time. Did it take you a long time to cook all this, Mr. Holden? Oh, not at all. Sure, this is more than I usually make for me and Cove, but I enjoyed every second of it.
Aha.
Might have gone faster if you had some help, though. Cove's mom grumbled, but it was lighthearted. Mr. Holden chuckled and shook his head. Not this again. I make the rules here, and I say guests don't cook. Even when they're staying for literal weeks?
Come on.
Even then. There is like some weird passive-aggressive with a smile tension here. Like, they very clearly want to murder each other, but they are putting it on so hard. They're very much keeping it together for the kid here. Everything looks great, Dad, as always. Thanks, Sport. Glad you think so. Cove smiled. It was genuine, even if it was strained at the corners. Brief silences intersperse the small talk. So it's like church drama, grabs popcorn. So, Cove's parents split up 5 years ago. We don't know anything about it, but Cove lives with his dad here in town. This summer, Cove's mom has come to visit for the entire summer, and it's the first time that that's ever happened. This is the first time we've seen Cove's mom in the 5 years that we've known him. So it's like, what's going on here? But they seem to be really friendly and everything seems to be good, but they split for a reason. We don't know what. The Betty and Ethel showdown, oh my. You piled some food onto your plate, waiting for your turn if someone was serving themselves a dish that you had your eye on. Once the food had been divided and things settled down, Cove's parents started talking again. Now then. Uh-oh. You sat up in your seat when you noticed they were both looking at you.
How's it going?
How's everything been over at your house? Are your moms well? Are you keeping busy? Have you been keeping busy this summer? Or maybe you're just trying to take it easy during the break. Holy 20 questions, Dad! You felt overwhelmed by the sudden rush of questions. You were more than happy to answer. You were surprised, but you didn't mind the interest. Felt uncomfortable with the attention. I was surprised, but didn't mind the interest. You hadn't expected so many questions and all at once. Still, what else was there to talk about, apart from how the summer was going? Sir, I am not dating your son yet. I feel like that's not what this is. I feel like this is very much, let's talk about anything other than what's going on in this house. Because if we talk about what's going on in this house, one of us will probably snap. Let's talk about our moms. My moms are great. Mom took us out for dessert. Yeah, took us out for dessert. Mom took us out for dessert a couple weeks ago since her project went really well. Yet. Yes, yet. Yet. Is that so? I'll have to congratulate her when I see her. You answered how things were at your house. It's been good. Yeah, things have been good. Fuck it.
Fantastic.
Oh, that's wonderful. I think you have underestimated the ability of middle-class families to be extremely boring. Oh, I have not. I know how boring middle-class families are. What did we do this summer? Not sure where to start. There's so much that has happened. Mr. Holden's brows raised when you answered with that. You sure are keeping yourself busy. I could learn a thing or two from you. Oh, you keep yourself fucking busy. And that was that for your question answering. Kyra nodded along. You could tell she was actually listening to the words you were saying. She was trying to include you, not humor you. That's sweet. Did you know, Cliff, Cygnus is really into writing? Hey, Kyra remembered. Mr. Holden's face lit up, and he stopped eating so he could lean forward, his arms braced against the table.
Nice work.
Oh, that's right. Very cool. Just a hobby. There's nothing wrong with that. It's good to do things just for fun. Everyone needs a hobby. I've been thinking of picking up wood carving myself. You fucking would. You would pick up wood carving, Cove. That's exactly what I expect you to do. I expect Cove when he doesn't have to... Or I expect Cove's dad... when he doesn't have to take care of Cove. That's the sentence I'm trying to say. I expect Mr. Holden, when he's not taking care of Cove... to basically, like... go for a walk in the woods... light up a joint... get a nice buzz going... and then grab a stick and just whittle at it. That's fully what I expect him to do in his spare time... when he's not fucking surfing or scuba diving. I mean, Kyra kind of figures you might be her son-in-law one day, so she pays attention, I guess. Yeah, no, it's true. I keep wanting to play this game and being intimidated by how much there is. It's still worth playing, because you got to remember, when you're playing it on your own, it'll go a lot quicker. Because chat won't distract you every 5 seconds, and you'll be able to read in your head, which generally goes faster than reading out loud. I would still recommend it. You couldn't tell how serious he was being about that declaration. Thanks. Cove's parents were definitely the encouraging type, but you could already tell that much about them. There was a lull in the conversation as everyone focused their attention on their respective plates. You noted, not for the first time, that Cove's parents were the ones guiding the conversation. You wondered if you should break the silence this time. You brought up your own topic of conversation. This isn't going to go over like a train wreck. I also like other things. Would you like to tell us more?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. They looked genuinely eager for you to keep talking, so you did. The rest of the dinner continued just like that, with light conversation as you ate your meals. Eventually, all the dishes on the kitchen table were pretty much gone. Kyra set down her fork and rested her arms at her sides, letting loose a satisfied sigh. Her plate was completely empty.
Thanks.
That was delish. Thank you for your culinary creations, Cliff. Mr. Holden was like a flower soaking up the rays of the sun. He beamed, flattered by the praise. You ate way too much. You ate till you're satisfied. I ate way too much, let's be fucking real. You practically licked your plate clean. You were so full that you were afraid you might burst. Cove successfully kept his presence to a minimum for the full meal. He was slumped over, even now, toying with his silverware. His parents practically only talked to you. Most attempts to entice him to join the conversation failed. Pardon me, sorry. Hahaha, eating till you're satisfied. What does that even mean? It's a shame that the routine comes from such a shitty person, but I will never forget, the meal isn't over when you're full. The meal is over when I hate myself. And that is a fucking mood. It wasn't typical for him to say so little. He at least tried to participate. You didn't get much time to contemplate Cove's situation because your attention was taken by Mr. Holden, pointedly clearing his voice. Not to sound like a broken record, but thanks for coming, Cygnus. I'm glad we finally got the chance to have you over for a real dinner.
What?
What? Did I hear that right? This is the first time Cygnus has ever had dinner here? Why in the world haven't you invited him over sooner? Cove was always the one going over to Cygnus's house until now. I mean, how was I supposed to reject the generous offers of the Downey family to host my kid? Kyra shook her head, but the amused smile she was sporting told you that she wasn't actually mad. This guy, honestly. The three of you looked at Cove in unison, his small sound being more than enough to get the focus on him after his silence. By now, he'd stopped fiddling with his fork.
I mean...
Would it be alright for Cygnus to stay over? I mean, like, for the night? He's been planning this shit. He shot you a shy glance, then, smiling a little. If you're cool with that. Yeah, I'm cool with it. Mr. Holden's shoulders stiffened. He sat up straighter, eyes darting back and forth between you and Cove. His mouth opened, but not a peep came out. Gay! I was summoned? Yes, welcome. Cove's dad having to come to the realization that no, they're actually gay for each other. You had never seen Cove's dad say no to him before, but this was different than the usual request. It wasn't so simple, and Mr. Holden was lost. Then Cove's mom reached out and took a hold of his shirt collar. She pulled him closer. She glanced at you before leaning in and bringing a hand up in front of their faces. The two adults whispered seriously to each other. What the fuck? Cove's eyes opened wider. He leaned forward as if that would help him overhear his parents' conversation. Mr. Holden kept gesturing with his hands while Kyra made sure he didn't get too far away with all his movements. Every now and then, both of them would watch you and Cove out of the corner of their eyes. Just go to another fucking room, guys! It didn't seem like they were fighting to you. It looked more like some sort of tiny sports team having a private huddle. After a bit, they broke the powwow. They moved back to sit properly in their chairs. Guys, what the fuck? You snuck a look at Cove. He stared at them expectantly. You were eager to hear their verdict, too. We, Kyra and I, think that should be fine, but... He lifted a finger dramatically, his brows raising as he met Cove's gaze and then your own. Salt, I have been asked what genre your music is. I will be back very soon. My music is experimental synthwave. It's electronic music of all genres. I don't know. I just make music I like and it's electronic. I have trouble giving my music a genre, and that's not even like a hipster thing. Every other song I intentionally try to just make it be its own thing, and some of them kind of fall together in a similar vibe and others don't. It's instrumental electronic music, and some of it's weird. Electronic chaos somehow given a vague semblance of order. Yeah, that'd be the drums. No kissing! I'm fully expecting them to say that. Thank you, I will let them know. And apologies for not a better explanation. But they can listen to it for free on Spotify if they want to hear it for themselves. We'll have to talk with Cygnus's parents to make sure they'd be comfortable with it. If they are, we can arrange for a sleepover to happen on a different night when everyone is more prepared. If Cygnus's folks don't like the idea, there's nothing we can do. Oh, I forgot to say, hail to his grace, King Hexamine Chromium 3 Chloride. XR, that is the best. I love that shit. Thank you so much. He finished the mini-speech with a wide shrug using his full arms. He also checked out Kyra from the corner of his eye and gave her a crooked smile. She nodded approvingly and grinned back. You thought you saw her give him a thumbs up, but her hand looked partially blocked by the table. They looked so pleased with themselves over the answer, but they just passed the actual decision on whether or not it was alright or not to someone else, namely, your parents. If this was a sports game, they would have punted the ball away. Cove hung his head deflated. He had been hoping you could stay over today, not some hypothetical time in the future. Whoo! There are some options here. There are some fucking options here. Holy. Oh my god. Oh my god. So, you gave him some words of encouragement. You patted him on the back. Psst, I'll sneak the phone into my room tonight. Psst, hey, you could always sneak into my room again. Or we pout. Do we tell him to call, or do we tell him to climb into my fucking bedroom again? No, they're not dating yet, Alice. They are not dating yet. So, Cove asked for... So, Alice, to catch you up, we're having dinner at the Holden's house. For the first time ever, Cove just asked if I could sleep over, and the parents said maybe another night with Cygnus's parents' permission. But Cove really wanted me to sleep over tonight, and they're not letting us. So, the question becomes, do we tell him to, like, I'll sneak the phone into my room tonight so we can talk? Or do I tell him, hey, you could always sneak into my room tonight? Are we doing it? Let's be dumbass 13-year-old boys in love. Cove's eyes sparkled at the suggestion. You wouldn't be surprised to have him knocking on your window sometime. Oh my god. We literally were just like, bet. Break the rules anytime. We're breaking the law. Breaking the law. Mischievous gaze, let's go. Though, he likely still would without the invite. And with that, dinner finally came to an end. Mr. Holden stood up from the table and began collecting empty plates. Cove was asked to help out, which he did with little fuss. Kyra tried to lend a hand as well, however Mr. Holden didn't let her. It was seemed she was barred from cleaning as well as cooking. You weren't allowed to chip in either, since you were there as the declared guest of honor. Although the meal was over, the night wasn't. It looked like you weren't going home just yet after all. You were asked to wait on the couch. While Cove and his dad were cleaning up the mess, Kyra disappeared down the hall after shooting you a wink. This fucking family! This family is full of secrets and playfulness, and the one time they decide to be serious is the one time I actually wanted them to be playful and secrety. Road trip should be the next vignette? Okay, good to know. Thank you. It was a bit strange, sitting by yourself while everyone else had something to do. Luckily, you weren't alone for too long. After a couple of minutes, Cove's mom returned with a deck of cards in hand. She strolled into the room confidently while shuffling. Yeah, let's go, let's play some cards. I'll fucking take all you. 13-year-old card shark, let's go. They're crafty buggers, can't trust them. We are all sneaky gays. Except for on, like, our individual awareness days. In which case we roll disadvantage on our stealth checks. So, who's up for a few rounds? I will clean you out of every dollar you have, Kyra. Let's go. Cove and his dad looked over their shoulders at the question. They were mutually intrigued by the cards in her hands. She beamed at their expressions and stepped further into the living room. Ignoring the couches, she sat cross-legged on the floor by the coffee table. I'm only a sneaky gay when it doesn't matter at all. I believe in you, Alice. You can be sneaky whenever you want. She turned to you and gestured at the space beside her, smiling invitingly. You accepted and followed her lead. The living room carpet was soft, though the hardwood floor underneath could definitely still be felt. Kyra did an overhand shuffle while she waited for the others to finish the tasks. The smile had yet to leave her lips. Why do I feel like Kyra is also a card shark? They got divorced because Kyra got caught for card counting in Vegas. That's my current headcanon.
Great.
This is going to be good. You were excited, you were nervous, you were bored, you were kind of annoyed, you enjoyed her enthusiasm. Kyra is definitely the type for it. Yeah, absolutely. What if the actual thing is they didn't break up, but Kyra went to jail for 5 years for being a card shark? I would actually love that. I know that's not actually the plot, but I would love that to be the plot. I would love it if she just got out of jail and everything's fine. She got out of jail for being a card shark and being a hustler. I'd be so okay with that. Cove's mom was funny, upbeat, and easygoing. You leaned closer to watch her expertly shuffle the cards. It didn't take much longer for Cove and his dad to wrap things enough to call it good. Cove's dad disappeared first, followed closely behind by Cove. Mr. Holden rubbed his hands together in anticipation. Headcanon, good. Headcanon firmly accepted. Card shark Kyra headcanon, let's go. Alright, I'm ready. He took a seat across from you on the floor. You noticed that Cove hadn't joined him. He went straight down the hall instead, without even a word. You stared on confused as he disappeared through his bedroom door. Cove's parents didn't look concerned at the stunt. Kyra nonchalantly split the deck of cards in two and riffled the halves together while offering an explanation of sorts. Cove doesn't keep his wallet with him when at home. He puts it away. What? We're literally doing this! We're literally gambling! We're literally gambling! I was joking! Cove went to get his wallet! What? Cove quickly returned to the living room, a black wallet in his hand. He took a place at the foot of the table with the rest of you. You blinked as Cove unzipped his wallet. You all use real money on card games with family? While you sat there, your hands idle in your lap, the three shot looks at one another and sized each other up. That's right. $5 per round per person. I was kidding! I was fucking joking! Okay, we're revising this headcanon. Mr. Holden and Cove moved to escape persecution, and Kyra had to hold it down. New headcanon. Mr. Holden... I don't know why I decided he didn't like motherfuckers. New headcanon. Mr. Holden was in deep, and he had to get the fuck out of Dodge. And Cove went with. And Kyra had to hold down the fort back at home. And now he's opened up his own shop with the money he got from hustling the casinos to go legit. That's the new headcanon. I probably mean that, Cal. I don't know what word I said instead, but you're probably correct. Did I say persecution instead of prosecution? Thank you for correcting me. I meant prosecution. My brain is melting right now. What the fuck is this game? I definitely meant prosecution. Thank you for catching that. I ain't got that kind of money. Oh, I was doing a pun. I wasn't trying to correct you. Oh, okay. Fair enough. I mean, I also firmly believe I probably misspoke. It's all good, Cal. Oh, are you planning on kicking Cygnus to the curb, or do you intend on donating to the Guest of Honor's pot, Mr. High Roller? Mr. Holden narrowed his eyes and leaned back against the side of the couch, completely at ease. Guys, folks, what if I bet with the 20 that Mr. Holden gave me? Ooh, I wonder if that's an option. Use the 20 that Mr. Holden gave me 5 years ago to take them for everything. And then marry their son in 10 years.
No worries.
If Cygnus wants to play, I'll fund his way in. Don't you worry about that. He rested an arm across the top of a knee that he propped up. Cove's dad was acting slick in a way you'd never seen before. They are such fucking hustlers. They're such hustlers. I can't get over this. Holy fuck. I'm gonna come home and both moms are gonna be like, so Cygnus, what'd you get up to? I'm like, oh, you know, hung out with Cove a little bit. We had dinner and then we gambled for hundreds of fucking dollars. Jesus Christ. Fuck it. If they're gonna be hustlers, let's hustle right back. You joked that he shouldn't be so confident. This is why I watch Salt streams. Holy shit. Why do I keep missing letters? Fuck it. Letters are unimportant. Energy is the vibe. It's the important thing. Kyra is definitely a pool hustler for fun. Absolutely. Absolutely she is. Let's go. Are you sure? Adding me could be spelling your doom. Let's go. Right you are, Cygnus. I hope you can back that attitude up. Let's take them for all their fucking money. Let's go. You know I can, Kyra. God, the two of them just flirt so palpably at all times. This fucking family. This family puts the fucking fun in dysfunctional. Holy shit. You can let me pay for Cygnus. He's my friend. Wait, Cove just offered to pay? How much money does Cove have? How much is this family bawling out right now? I love this. Honestly, who wouldn't want flirty in-laws? Sure. Like, I will take happy, flirty with each other in-laws over, like, really bitter, shitty in-laws. Absolutely. This is just, like, so wild. Everyone in this game is loaded. Okay. okay, but there's there's like affluent, and then there's whatever the fuck this family is. Like, Cygnus's family is comfortably well off. Like, Cygnus's family is comfortably well off. I am now fully convinced, and I have been for a while, that Mr. Holden is like a fucking millionaire. Like, just a secret millionaire. And I really want it to all be from gambling hustling. His dad did give $20 to an random kid, fully. Cove doesn't have an allowance. He gets what he can win from his parents. That headcanon is fully accepted.
Good kid.
Alright, bud, I concede. You're too polite for me. Well, you've got your ticket. Interested in throwing in? Yeah, let's go. You glanced around. This seemed like serious business. In response to your consternation, Kyra softened her competitive smile. Don't worry too much. We'll probably just do some rounds of Go Fish tonight. No biggie.
Do you mind?
What do you think? You joined. Let's do it. No, Go Fish. Bust out the Texas Hold'em. Don't fucking talk all this game now and give me Go Fish. No. No. We're doing... No. Fuck your Go Fish. We're doing Texas Hold'em. Let's fucking go. I'd love to play. Mr. Holden gave you a big thumbs up while Cove nodded firmly back. Okay. You know what I want now, though? I need a Go Fish. I need a Go Fish anime done in the same way as Yu-Gi-Oh, but it's Go Fish. Just like dramatic music. Just like, BAM! You can't defeat me. I am the greatest Go Fish warrior of all time. You are doomed. And then the protagonist goes, you might be the best Go Fish player of all time, but I have the power and the soul of the pond within me. Do you have any sevens? Cue like 8 different anime characters being like, like in a split panel across all of them. Sevens, but sevens haven't been called yet. There could still be up to 4 sevens in the deck. There's no way. If he gets this call wrong, he could completely lose everything, and that could cost him the entire tournament. Dramatic pause. As the villain is like, and like foaming, how dare you guess sevens? Go Fish! And then he laughs maniacally because he was faking them out. And then he has to reach into the pile, and he pulls out a 7. And the protagonist takes the 7 from the pile, and the 7 in his hand, and he completes it. And he goes, that is it! I have won! I am the new king of fish. Roll credits. Toei Animation, call me up. I got your next hit anime right here. Hi, Energized says I need to go to bed. Joro, have yourself a great night. Okay, now that you did that, now I can go to bed. Good night, Joro. Thank you for being here. Salt, I will pay you real money to make this. I have none of the skills to make this. I couldn't just leave in the middle of that. Take care. Take care. That actually does sound like an amazing anime. Hikaru no Go Fish. Oh, Salt popping off tonight. It's all you. It's all you guys. You guys give me the energy. You guys give me the energy. I'm really good at Go Fish. I'm the king of the pond. We just ascertained this. I'm the protagonist. Thank you for the lurk, Joel. You usually won when you played with your family, to the point that Elizabeth refused to play that game with you anymore. Yeah, deal with it, Lizzie. Fantastic. We'll play for however long everyone wants to keep going, or until people start running out of cash, but are still refusing to quit while they're behind. That was a shot at somebody. Speaking for yourself, I see. Toei Animation Thank you, Pint. Thank you for the clip. With a laugh, Kyra nudged you using an elbow, then motioned towards the other two with her chin. Don't be fooled by their soft faces. These boys are sharks. Is that the entire rant? Did the entire rant fit into 60 seconds? I felt like I was going for longer than that. This family is unmatched. It's incredible. In reaction to her words, Mr. Holden smirked, and Cove's eyebrows became more angled. Uh-oh. Kyra's phrasing made you think back to when you were young, specifically of Mr. Holden's favorite shark pants that he used to wear all the time. It's almost the whole thing. Amazing. Thank you so much, Pint. Perhaps they'd been a fit for him in ways you didn't know of. You could feel the tension in the air. Cove and his parents glued their eyes to one another, then all placed $5 bills in an empty space in front of them. Oh shit, not the eyebrow. We're getting the serious eyebrow. Cove dropped an extra one for you, giving a tiny smile after he did. Once this was done, Kyra began dealing out the cards to everybody. It was time to begin. The first round came and went quickly, with the group getting into the groove of things. You won right away, which meant you had money to keep playing the second round. Cove, you flirt. You're a natural. Nicely done. You'd better keep those wits about you for the next round, though. As the night went on, so did the games. Mr. Holden would jokingly shake his fist whenever someone other than him got a pair. Kyra acted as a news anchor, reporting on every move everyone made by speaking into her curled fist. It's fucking go fish, what wit? Yeah, right? Cove was still a few words, but now it was because he was focused on the game instead of being overcome with awkwardness. Most of the time, you even spotted a smile on his lips. You won quite a few games to your delight. You had a hefty money pile on your side of the table. They're gonna seriously just let me take all this money home. You must regret paying Cygnus's way in now, huh? No way. Cygnus might be beating me, but he's also beating you two. We're literally gonna take them for all their fucking money. We come to their house, we eat their food, we flirt with their son, and then we take all their fucking money. Because that's how it be when you're a Gonzalez, baby! Cove turned towards you and smiled, looking pleased at your ability to match his mom and dad. Cove losing for the greater good. Yeah. Kyra is giving the commentary you gave before. He just asked for sevens, but sevens haven't been played yet. This could cost him the tournament! Where did his eyebrows come from anyway? His parents, from the looks of it. They have normal ones, but they're in opposite directions, so he got both their genes, and so it just goes like blah, 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 blah. You grinned at him, touched by his speedy comeback. It became clear that where the money went in the moment didn't really matter. They ended up giving it back to one another in other ways, and not just through rounds of more cards. You sat back looking over the scene. A tiny smile grew on your face. Cove's family was pretty cool, you thought. Wish I had seafoam worms on my face. That's not how it works. Cal, I don't know how to tell you this, but in anime land, genetics are fake. He literally has natural seafoam hair. Green hair indicated genetics are bullshit in this game. You can make colored eyebrows. The implication, though, is that this is like their natural hair color. You were glad you got this chance to come over to spend time with the three of them. Nice. Nice. Look at that. 2 hours into stream, we got through one chapter. Oh, fuck. I'm gonna go take a 5-minute break. So you were saying we should do Road Trip next. I was gonna do Road Trip next anyway, now that I look at it. But yeah, let's do Road Trip now. Even though you were awake, the sun had barely peeked its head above the horizon, and the sky above was still dark, though lightening by the minute. Usually, you wouldn't be up so early, especially during summer vacation, but today was different. Today, instead of the lazy days you were used to, everything around you was a flurry of activity as both your family and Cove's prepared for what lay ahead. Because parked in the street, just outside your house, was a massive RV camper, so big you couldn't even see Cove's house behind it. His parents had rented the RV for a few days to take him on a short road trip to see the Redwood National Park. You glanced at Cove, who was standing nearby taking in the scene in front of him. The prospect of the trip had to be a mixed bag for him, but it was only 3 days, so it seemed he was dealing with it the best he could. Especially now that you and your family were joining them. You weren't sure exactly how it happened. You knew your parents and Cove spoke to each other often, and somewhere along the way plans were made after Cliff offered to share the space. Your parents thought it was a fantastic idea. You had already gotten a good look inside while helping to load everything in, and you had to admit that while it was a really big car, fitting that many people inside was going to be snug.
Let's go.
Move it or lose it, kiddo. Mom bustled past with a cooler in one hand and a large bottle of water under the other. She was upbeat for this early in the morning. Ma, however, seemed to be... She jump scared me. Yeah, Alice, you gotta be prepared. Oh wow, I'm gay. Yup. Ma, however, seemed to be on the other side of the wavelength. She followed behind her wife, dragging her feet on every step. I am Ma in this case. I'm going to need a whole jug of coffee once we hit the road. I am Ma in this situation. You could relate it was too early? Yes. You yawned and rubbed at your eyes, still sleepy from the early morning wake-up call. The air outside was still damp from dew, and that helped you make you a bit more alert. Me. And then, at the end of the chain, came your sister. She had a bone to pick before the trip officially started. Her rattling off critiques added some level of normalcy to everything new going on.
Ugh.
I don't get why I can't sleep in the bed tonight. Cygnus is the youngest, and I'll never fall asleep in that loft. My face feels like a furnace right now. I am not okay. They can't do this. They've done this, Alice. It has happened. You are Ma. Does that mean you could say Ma, me? Oh my god, Azura. Good god. We're trying to make things fair on everyone. If you want to play the older card, you should be offering to take the loft both nights. It's important for big siblings to make sacrifices for their younger ones. Elizabeth huffed, not happy with that answer in the slightest. Mommy, sorry. Yeah. I knew what you were doing, Azura. I knew. Elizabeth huffed, not happy with that answer in the slightest, and folded her arms, leaning back against the side of the RV. The trip plans had been nailed down prior, with the sleeping arrangements included. Elizabeth still held on to her objections with them. There was a main area of the RV with a couch, loft, and some floor space. At the end of the car was a room with a large bed. Your moms were sharing the bed. Kyra was on the couch, and father and son intended to sleep on the floor. The adults determined you and Elizabeth would switch between the small loft above the driver's seat and sharing the bed with moms. You were fine with the arrangements. You were excited to sleep in a loft. You felt sharing a bed with your parents was going to be awkward. You looked forward to a sleepover with your mums. You weren't too happy either, but you didn't want to make a fuss. You thought it was unfair that Cove had to sleep on the floor. Sleep in a loft. It would be a new experience for you and sounded kind of cool. Alright, you lot, does everyone have everything they need? We're headed out in 5 minutes. Now's the time to double check. You don't want to forget something important. At the word, Elizabeth yelped and dashed back into the house, her bedhead hair bouncing behind her as she went. Ma came over and gave you a smile, settling her hands on her hips. How about you, Cygnus? You have all your clothes packed? Toiletries? Deodorant? Floss? Anything else you can think of? Knowing me, I definitely have to run back in for something. Running up the stairs to the bathroom, you grabbed your toothbrush from beside the sink before heading back down. Yep, that's accurate. You were glad you were reminded to grab it after having left it out to use this morning. It would have been embarrassing if you couldn't brush your teeth for the next few days. Your mom was still there, waiting with a knowing expression as you walked out again. Got everything now, Cygnus? Yeah. With a few minutes left to spare before you leaving, you mentally went over what you had packed for the trip. Clothes, a pillow and blanket, usual day-to-day gear for most people. You also had more personal things, such as my portable gaming console. The drive to Redwood National Park would take an entire day one way, so you wanted to make sure you had a way to entertain yourself while traveling there and back. An MP3 player with headphones. With so much time to be spent driving in a car, you wanted to make sure you would be able to have some music to put on. Speaking of being gay, though, anyone interested in fantasy shows, Wheel of Time has been so good. I've heard it's been great. And pencils and paper. You had been prepared just in case you saw something to sketch at the park, or if you had to write anything down, or if you needed to pass time just doodling. Yay, and Polly, fuck yeah. And that was everything. Hey, let me take that for you, Cygnus. I'll stow it in the RV. There's a few spots left, it'll fit. My life has been a void since Arcane, oh my god. And of the main characters, the vast majority are POC. Yeah. It is Amazon, but you can probably get it without giving any money to Jeffrey Bezos if you try. You let Kyra take your bag and gave her a grateful smile. With nothing left to do, you watched the others getting ready for the trip. Kyra and Cliff seemed to have the most energy of everyone. They were finishing packing the suitcases away while your moms had gone to lock up the house. Yar har har. Yeah, I'm just saying there might... I don't know, I can't quite put my finger on it, but there might be some way that you could acquire it for less money. I can't think of it, though. Using your dad's Prime account? I mean, that works too, Azura. Oh, that's awesome, Pint. Surely doesn't involve the 7 Seas. Nah, definitely not. They high-fived when another one got crammed into the storage compartments of their vehicle. Let's go. Even though your own parents were more low-key than Coves, you could tell they were both excited for the trip. It had been a while since your family had been away anywhere together. Elizabeth skipped towards the RV, a bag slung over her shoulder, and you were surprised to see that she seemed more optimistic about the whole ordeal now. Usually, she wasn't one to exit the confines of her room unless it was for TV or food or to leave her family behind to be with friends. 7 C's, content, creativity, capitalism. It's only 3 C's. You would have thought the 3 whole days packed in an RV with 6 other people would be too much for her, but it was a nice surprise. You supposed any vacation was better than no vacation in her mind. Cringe. I mean, yeah. Collaboration. Other than capitalism, I feel like we're just describing my channel. Consent. Yes. Great. That's a great C. Excellent C's, everybody. Cove had been pretty quiet so far, and more than anything seemed to be overwhelmed by the situation. Replace capitalism with communism, and it's your channel. Yeah, maybe. You were excited for the trip too? Hell yeah, we love a road trip. It was great to get away and explore new places. Soon the miscellaneous remaining tasks had all been wrapped up. I was just trying to list the Bezos C's, but yeah, let's eat the capitalism. That's fair. It went one direction, and then everybody was like, no, we're going in a different direction. Excellent C's? Well then, why have we not cast off yet? Avast me hearties, yo-ho! Everyone piled into the RV. It was officially time for the trip to start. And it did. Cliff took the first shift driving. He cautiously navigated the massive car out of the narrow neighborhood streets. It was touch and go for the first part of the journey. Your moms and Kyra were all huddled at the front, trying to get a view of how much space they had on each side. There was a sense of relief when the first long leg of the trip was hit, and the RV would only need to go down one stretch of highway for miles. The mom group cleared out of the driver's area, leaving Cove's dad to it, taking more comfortable seats around the main cabin. You felt like you could finally relax now, too. Time slipped by as morning faded away. Hang on. Yep, perfect. Before you realized it, the engine of the RV came to a stop, but only halted a few moments as Cliff climbed out of the driver's seat and Mom took over. Ma was sitting shotgun, giving Mom a quick tutorial on the controls, as it was her first time driving anything this large. Cliff groaned as he headed towards the rest of you, stretching his arms above his head and loosening up his muscles. We're making good progress. Look at this man and his fucking aviators. Look at this. Azura! Cliff popping off a bit here. Yeah, rocking those aviators. Looking good. Yeah, maybe you should just take a nap in the back for a while. That was a long haul you just did. And I know you're on less sleep than usual. Cliff waved a hand, that trademark grin of his slipping into place.
Nah.
I don't need sleep. I've still got a few miles in the old tank. He flexed an arm, showing off his muscles to drive the point about how resilient he was home. And Kyra rolled her eyes in amusement. I have a reputation to maintain. I believe you, Azura. Dad, everybody has to sleep. Cove shook his head at the tough guy act, though Cliff simply chuckled and ruffled his son's hair.
So?
Are you going to be driving again anytime soon, Mr. Holden? I want to know so I can prepare. Did anyone pack some rope? I might need it. There's no seatbelts up here. Wow, Elizabeth, you're fucking you're ferocious. Elizabeth called down from where she was lounging in the loft above the driving compartment. She was laying on her back, her hair falling over the side and swinging around as the RV started up again and took off down the road. She is 16! He has tortoiseshell aviators, because of course he does. 100% he has tortoiseshell aviators. Okay, rope is art. Shush, I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it's not. Yeah, it was water. Azura just lives this way. Azura just lives this way, and we love them for it. A bag of potato chips was balanced on Elizabeth's stomach, and she tossed a couple in her mouth right as Cliff held a hand to his chest, pretending to be offended by the remark. Kyra laughed lightheartedly.
Don't worry about that.
Luckily for all of us, we have enough adults to clear the shifts today. He won't be driving again until tomorrow. Stayed quiet, shook head at the ribbing. That's a relief. Just enough time to write up my last will and testament. These are so fierce. Shouldn't gang up on the poor guy. It's not his driving I'm worried about. Yikes, these are all mean. I don't like these responses. Didn't have anything to add to the conversation, but it was pretty funny all the same. Last will and testament is what I'd say to my mom. Yeah, valid. Fair enough. Mom then shouted back in her seat to join the conversation, a playful smile tilting her lips. My family teases out of love. Absolutely. Okay, but the best John Mulaney bit is John Mulaney's dad and McDonald's. That shit was fucking incredible. On a road trip and see a McDonald's, and the kids are chanting McDonald's, McDonald's, and my father, Chip Mulaney, pulled into McDonald's. He ordered one black coffee and nothing else, and then left. The Salt and Pepper Diner is also fucking amazing. I was over on the bench. I was over on the bench. What I'm more worried about is this old monster getting us there and back with before falling apart. Horse in a hospital. Okay, yeah, John Mulaney has great shit. Okay, it's true. It looks as though it was built in the early 90s. It must be older than some of the occupants. It's just the aesthetic of the decor. It's not that old, I think. Did you ask what year the model was before you rented it? Cairo wrinkled her nose in thought.
Hey!
Yes, I did. I just can't remember what the answer was. Cliff chuckled at her, while the rest of you let out a collective sigh. The RV lurched a little as it picked up speed, and you held onto the ladder to the loft to keep your balance. You felt something graze the top of your head before a weight settled on your gray hair. When you tilted your chin up carefully to look, you heard the rustling of the bag of chips and realized Elizabeth had rested the end of it on your head. Wow, Elizabeth, Jesus. She gestured to the opening, silently offering to share her snack. Oh, I see what's happening here. You took a handful. Reaching up, you scooped some chips. After that, the weight of the packet left your scalp. Everyone has no chill this chapter, huh? It's so sassy. There's so much sass in this chapter. You happily munched away as the conversation continued on, and you got closer and closer to your destination. The day flew by with the group of you chatting, playing games, and passing the time together before finally arriving at the park and setting up for the night. Ma was closing the windows while everyone got ready for bed, saying goodnight to the others as she made her way to the back room. You all had dinner together while still driving, and some hours after had arrived at your destination and found a spot to park in for the rest of your stay. Giving a look across the front of the RV, you noticed almost everyone there was already dozing off where they were, with Cove having completely fallen asleep, curled up in the passenger seat. Was there more Go Fish? Yeah, you bet there was. Okay, you go do that, Azura. You must have done so while Cairo was driving the last leg. They had decided not to disturb him. Cairo herself was the only one up there who was still awake, flipping through a magazine next to a portable light from her spot on the couch. It seemed Mr. Holden needed to sleep despite his claims. You followed your moms into the back room and closed the door behind you before crawling onto the bed between them. Yeah, literal snake food. It was a queen-size bed, so there was enough space for the three of you without too much squishing.
Good night.
Get a good rest, Cygnus. We got a big day ahead of us tomorrow.
That's fantastic.
I was looking forward to the bushwalk in the morning. It's been a long time since I was out in nature like this. There'll be plenty for us to see. One sec. Cher, why are you suddenly not comfortable? Or is it just my ADHD? There we go. Better. You stayed awake for a little while longer while your moms whispered about the park and forests in general. A queen big enough for 2 adults and a teen in what fucking world? Not only, especially since I'm apparently big for a 13-year-old. So, like, pressing X to doubt just a little bit. With the sound of their voices in the background, you eventually nodded off to sleep. The next morning, you were up bright and early, preparing for the day ahead. Slept well. Because I can sleep anywhere, and so can this kid, I've decided. Unless everyone in that situation sleeps like logs and never move, I have no clue. Yeah, it's true. Ma whined a bit about the firmness of the mattress, but Mom had only encouraged her to enjoy the trip while she could. While looking for a spot to get ready, you had some trouble finding a space of your own as the others were doing the same thing. Cove was perched on top of the counter, brushing his hair and tucking up his legs every time someone wanted to move past. Me taking up an entire double by myself. Yeah, same. Same. The parents were checking, double-checking, and triple-checking that you had everything to the point where you had stopped listening to them altogether. You knew you wouldn't be returning to the RV at all that day, but by the look of the backpacks that were packed up and ready to go, you doubted anything was missing from them. It didn't take much longer until you all exited the RV in a bustle and headed to the Redwood National Park.
Wow.
You said it, Cove. Cove tilted his head up towards the canopy of trees, his eyes wide as he took in the massive trunks on either side of you. You knew that the redwood trees here were considered the tallest trees on Earth, but you weren't prepared for exactly how huge they would be in person.
Come on.
Smile, you two! You spun around just in time for Kyra to snap a picture of you and Cove together, before she pointed her camera at Cliff, trying to get a shot despite his weak protest that she should just enjoy the moment. Your parents were walking behind the group a little, with Mom telling Ma some information she had read about the park in a brochure. Ma listened happily while looking around and taking in the sights, every now and then asking a question or making a joke about something Mom had said. You smiled at them, thinking your mom must have read a lot of pamphlets to know about the park so much. Maybe you should come and work here as a tour guide if you know so much about the place. Elizabeth teased, earning a squeeze on the nose from your mom. She seemed to be enjoying herself, but you thought that might just be because she was amused by everyone else's reactions. You were in awe of the trees, fascinated by the sensations, in a good mood. Yeah, let's love the trees. Surrounding you on either side, the enormous trees shot up into the sky, the sunlight peeking through their canopy and speckling the path in front of you. The sheer size of the redwoods made you feel like a tiny ant bustling along through the forest. The adults had decided on some casual nature walks rather than any serious hiking, and you strolled along at your own pace, taking in the scenery. Elizabeth sped up a little, smirking at Cove as she fell into place between the two of you. And you could tell immediately by her expression she was going to say something taunting.
Ah.
Can't believe our families are actually on vacation together. Back waiting for thought. Welcome back, Azura. She threw her arms out, speaking with a genuine sense of bewilderment. I would have joked about something like this happening, but now I'm not sure I want to give them any more ideas. Cove smiled at her, even if it was a little awkwardly, and continued walking along. Just watch, next year they'll be talking about their next new amazing idea. She put on a fake voice deeper than her own. We should just sell both of our houses and move in together. Think how much we would save on the mortgage. It was clear that Elizabeth was being sarcastic. Cove simply shook his head, not really bothered by her. You supposed he was used to it by this point. But seriously, they do really act like we're a single family just because we live across the street from each other. Elizabeth gave you and Cove a look, her eyes glinting with mischief as she leered towards you. Here it fucking comes. Here it fucking comes.
Yeah.
Maybe one day we will be related. Legally, anyway. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Alright, there we go. That's the button I wanted. I won't make the joke. I won't. I'm being good. Oh my god, Azura. She said it as though she was a gossipy old lady. There's the blush. But she almost immediately dropped the tone and nonchalantly said her real thoughts. At least, that's what Ma thinks. Elizabeth has chosen violence this day. Elizabeth has chosen violence this day. Cove still blushed, which made Elizabeth smile triumphantly, as though that was her whole purpose for teasing him. As if we needed confirmation. Yes, but this is the first time that the boys have been told, hey, everyone fucking knows. We know that you know, and now you know that we know that you know. This is the first time the boys have been told that. He mumbled quietly, refusing to make eye contact with either of you. Yes, Sombra. Also, hang on. Can we take a moment here? I wanna, because I almost had it. I wanna see if I can get it. See if I can get it here, real quick here. This way. Okay, we gotta go this way a little bit. There we go. I just want to do my own lull face. Okay, we're going back to it. Exactly. Perfect. That's it. That's it. I just wanted to try. Anyway, back to the game. Now we need a Salt lull. I mean, we have Salt. We have this one. We do have this one, which is cute. I might make the other one into like a Frank or Z emote or something. But like with my actual face, yeah, oh my god, could you imagine? My brain put the Screaming Sky Cowboy in front of Salt Lol. So like... like that. Thank you, Pint. I love that song. That song is legitimately a banger. Maybe one day I'll make that. I've got more emotes coming. I know that, yes, is you every time you do choke. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I do have Alyssa working on a Salt Pog. It is very difficult to do the animated version of a Salt Pog, but she's currently working on it. And I'm hoping if we get that, we can have a Salt Pog champ, which would be a SOG. I don't know why you think you're so funny when no one else does. Ooh, Cove is snapping back. Um... What? What? We might want to, actually. I might save scum this, I'm not going to lie. I just want to see everybody's jaws hit the floor. Be gay, do marriage. He looked at you in disbelief. He genuinely could not believe this is where the conversation had gone. Just stimmed so hard I popped every joint in my arms. Oh my god, Alice, are you okay? Just kidding, unless... Don't worry over it. You can take as long as you need to think on that. Cygnus is smooth as fuck. Did Cygnus just propose at 13? Motherfucker just did. Holy shit. Cove frowned and reddened harder, but pretended to ignore what you were saying. Your sister noticed what was happening. Oh, so he isn't going to engage with this topic. Elizabeth. Elizabeth, no. Lizzie, baby, darling, sweetie. Holy fuck. Samra's like... He groaned at the continued teasing and increased the speed of his walk. Proposing at 13 is the gayest thing ever. It is pretty fucking gay. It's great. And with that, the day just continues on. Like, I didn't just casually propose at 13. I'm gonna have to propose to Cove like 3 times before he realizes I'm not joking, isn't he? The day continued on with plenty to see and experience. You had a few different activities that you would have liked to try if you had the time, such as kayaking and rock climbing, but Ma said that would have to wait for another trip. Cove is me, I am the oblivious dumbass gay. It's perfect. There was a little stream during the walk that you sat beside and sat at a picnic for lunch, nibbling on a selection of fruit, sandwiches, and chips. Oh, is that me? Is that me having a bit of a meltdown at what just happened? Yep, perfect. Great, good. Awesome. Cove also has a great gender neutral name, not gonna lie. Yeah, Cove is a great name. We made fun of Mr. Holden for it, but it is actually a pretty sick name. Every day I wonder why the fuck I picked Alice, because it fit for you. Also, fun fact, Alice, you can also unpick it at any time if you really want to. Various birds flew by overhead, and you made a game out of guessing the species that were hanging out in the trees nearby. You even managed to get a couple of them right, including the kingfisher that grabbed half of Cliff's sandwich. Perfect. You glad you got to do this in the end? You were disappointed to only have one day in the park. You hoped the long trip wasn't worth... You thought the long trip wasn't worth it. Glad you got to do this. I proposed to my future husband. It was definitely a special experience, and one you'd remember for a long time to come. You smiled to yourself, committing the sights and sounds to memory. Alice is great too, true. Also, Alice Madness returns as an icon, and you're an icon, so it works. Alice is a great name, but if you don't like it, you can always change it. Your group made it back to camp just as the sun was setting in the sky. The stars were appearing one by one. Everyone had joined different parts of it most. Wow, let me try that sentence again. Everyone had enjoyed different parts of it most. You traded stories of what you thought while you were eating dinner, then afterwards you pitched in to help clean up. You, along with Elizabeth and Cove, got to head back to the RV early and spend some time together while the parents stayed outside longer. Rain, please read words. It was nice to have the space to yourselves after the cramped journey there. And while Elizabeth had locked herself in the back room with headphones, you and Cove were left in the main lounge area. Now Cove is going to be like, did you mean it? No, we are hanging out with Cove. We're all too sweet. I'm just being honest. We might as well get comfortable. Who knows how long they'll be out for. You took a seat on the sofa, while Cove sat down at the other end, tapping his fingers against his knees. Your cheeks warmed a little at that. Being close to him never failed to feel exciting. You'd seen Cove nearly every day for the past 5 years, but seeing him in a jacket was somewhat unusual. In Southern California, he could get away with that. Windbreaker Cove is a good look. EDS is a genetic condition that causes cool. It was a simple difference from his normal style, yet you couldn't help noticing the way he looked now. It looked great on him. In fact, Cove always looked nice. When Cove cleared his throat, your eyes snapped to his. He had an eyebrow raised and had clearly caught you staring at him. EDS. E. Extremely. D. Fucking. S. Cool. Yup.
What?
Is everything okay? You averted your gaze. Don't worry about it. That looks nice on you. Compliment. Pete, I could have literally made it work. That looks nice on you. Cove immediately blushed at the unexpected compliment. You should expect them by now, Cove. I've been laying it on thick this summer. What? He didn't say anything more than that one-word question. You decided to elaborate further. That was exactly it. I'm not kidding. See? Great minds. Great minds. You know, I hardly ever see you wearing a jacket, especially in summer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I like wearing as few layers as possible. It's easier that way. I'd rather be cold than extra hot, and it's kind of a pain to carry extra clothes around. My parents made me bring this jacket. Will my keyboard stop making me sound like a southerner? Ah, nah. You ain't kidding. I'm the same way. T-shirts, here we go. They're bulky and heavy, and they usually make me feel too warm. Cove smiled lightly at you and nodded. I've noticed. Salt, come down here and say that. I want to see what happens. I don't even remember what I said. You want me to talk like half a southerner word? They'll just look at me and they'll just be like, oh, bless your heart. And then I'll just speak hoser at them and it'll be fine. You perked up at that. He noticed you too? You asked him what he likes to see others wear. I hate that you're right. They would. I know they'd say bless your heart. Because bless your heart is southerner for you dumbass. Hey, what kinds of things do you think are nice to see on another person? Cove's eyes widened at the question, and his defensive reply seemed to slip out before he had the chance to have a proper think about it. That's what I've been told. I've been told when somebody's like, "Aw, bless your heart," it is like, "Aw, you're so dumb." But in a polite way. That's like the exact opposite vibes. Yeah, that's how it goes sometimes. Nothing. Cove. Cove, you need to think before you say that. Literally, I was like, "Hey, what do you like to see other people wearing?" And Cove, in his panic, said, "Nothing." My boy. My sweetie. That was funny. You played it no mind. You laughed out loud, and Cove gave you a dry look.
Come on.
Come on, that's not what I meant. You composed yourself and sat up straighter, all traces of laughter disappearing from your face. Answer with what you mean then. Isn't there anything at all you think looks good when you see it on someone? Yeah, it's all tone of voice. I also like to see people wear nothing. I mean, true Azura, but also you get bonked. Cove mumbled under his breath, and you couldn't quite catch the words. He was having a difficult time with the subject. It was a topic that made him uncomfortable, so you let it go. You had a little fun, and that was enough. I swear I won't make fun of you. That's not really it. Cove seemed pretty grumpy about your statement, but you weren't ready to give up so easily. Please? Cove sighed and looked down at his lap, where he was fidgeting with his hands, still reluctant to give an answer.
I don't know.
Okay. You made an unimpressed sound over how this was going. Are you sure? Fine, I guess. I kind of like ankle bracelets. Ankle bracelets? Yeah, everyone can wear a pretty bracelet. Wrist ones are cool too, but they're pretty normal. There's something fun or flirty about ankle bracelets. He just used that word. It's more special or something. I don't know how to explain it. Cove brushed his knuckles against his cheek awkwardly, seemingly unsure where to go from here. How many shades of red can we make, Cove? Thanks for answering. I like them too. So you think they're sexy? Out of everything in the world you picked out, we're not making fun of him. It's either I like them too, or we're going to make him go 7,000. I have an ankle bracelet I can never take off, even when it hurts in my combat boots. Oof, true. Do we save scum this too? Do we casually save scum this too? Let's do it.
What?
Uh-oh, he might actually be mad at us. He might actually be mad at us. What? No, I can't believe you'd even use that word to describe it. Cove had been absolutely scandalized by your statement, and you could only laugh. When he said nothing else, you took a moment to gather your thoughts. You had to get an anklet on ASAP. Maybe you'd wear more anklets now. Yep, who am I kidding? Cygnus has got it just as bad as Cove does. Jewelry you can't take off is becoming a thing, and I don't get it personally. Yeah, it's interesting. We're gonna need one of those paint shade things to match up how deep of a red we get them. Yeah. You needed to see how Cove would react to that. Cove looked away again, feeling awkward about this. You gave him an understanding look, and usually he would start to smile like normal again, but not this time. His expression only stiffened more. You were surprised to see him like this. He usually bounced back pretty quickly after being flustered. Cove? He still wouldn't look at you, and now even his breathing was growing tense. It began to click. He was trying to build himself up enough to say something hard for him. You waited for it silently. Finally, he peeked your way through the corner of his eyes. You were fully attentive by this point for whatever he was going to mention next.
That's,
People having purple eyes. That's also something I like. If I may. Yeah, oh yeah, we do. Oh yeah, we do. I don't know if it's going to pick up on my microphone. Okay, it will. Ready? If I may. We're in. No. That was me doing Hacker Man. We're in. Cove just flat out said it. Here we go. Having purple eyes, that's also something I like. Key Smash is much more of Cove's thing. You thought it was just Key Smash at first? Yeah, that's fair. That's also valid. Huh? For a moment, you were stunned, and at a complete loss for words. That was definitely not where you imagined this was going. Bullshit! You've been gunning for this, Cygnus. I would forget my own eye color in order to stay oblivious, it's true. This game lets me say my favorite flower is snapdragons. I am happy. Yay, Cal! Cove faced you head on, his expression full of desperate meaning. You got the distinct impression he hadn't chosen that just because he liked the color purple. He chose it entirely because it was your eye color. Was he trying to flirt with you? That was all you could think. Your legs felt like jelly, and you wondered if you might fall right off the couch. What do you like for another person, Cygnus? Folks, we have a kill shot. You literally proposed to him yesterday, calm the fuck down. No, Sombra, we proposed to him 4 hours ago. We are not slowing down. It has taken us this long to get anything. I have the shot. Take the shot. We have a clear shot. Take the shot. Everything about you. Listen, we are 13. We are gay, and we don't know shit about fuck about being subtle. Cove went still, his eyes widening in surprise. It was definitely a lot for him to hear, but you couldn't help yourself. It was the truth. You adored him. Are we gonna get a little 13-year-old kiss? That'd be adorable. And now, you were both flirting with each other. He placed his hands in his lap and looked down. It seemed he hadn't expected to get this far, and didn't know where to go from there. With that, the topic abruptly dropped off. Cove officially had no more to say on it. Doing little grabby feats, it's so fucking cute. The parents all arrived soon after, each of them climbing into the RV and finding someplace to sit down and rest their legs. Elizabeth, having heard the commotion, came out of the room. Our people call themselves the Omicron. Oof, that did not age well. Oh my god, Pella, that's horrible. They came so close. They really did come so close. Elizabeth, having heard the commotion, came out of the room for the first time since arriving and joined you all. You spent the evening chatting and playing a few games, enjoying the last evening of the trip together. Bedtime arrived within a blink of an eye. As the group hunkered down for the night, your mom did a final round to be sure nothing had been left behind. She explained that Cliff was going to start driving early in the morning like on the first day, but would be letting everyone else in the group sleep. There wouldn't be a need for all of them to get up. Now was the time to check you hadn't left anything outside. You, as well as everyone else, were confident you had packed up everything inside the RV, which meant it was time to get some rest before the journey home tomorrow. Your moms and Elizabeth said goodnight, heading into the back room while you climbed up into the loft. Cove and his family got situated below in the previously set arrangement. You tried to get comfortable as a million thoughts were running through your mind. It was hard to believe that the trip was practically over, and before you knew it, you'd be back in your own bed at home. You enjoyed this mini adventure? Yeah, we did. It was short, that was for sure, but you got to see and do so much during your time here. More thoughts than Cove family bets. Yup. All in all, it was a nice break away from home. Minutes ticked by silently. It didn't take long for the soft snores of Cliff and Kyra to drift up to you. They were asleep now. You wondered if Cove was still awake, and decided to poke your head out from the loft to find out. You blinked through the dark. How's it going with slightly older Cove? We just admitted we have a crush on each other. Fictional gays are going to be the death of me. It's true, Alice. Looking down the hall, you noticed Cove laying on his back, his eyes staring straight up at the ceiling. His seafoam hair was spread out on his sleeping bag. Yeah, but not actually admitted it. It's true. It's true. We've very, very, very unsubtly made it clear that we crush on each other. I just want them to have their first super awkward kiss because they're so adorable. It's going to be hilarious, and I love it. That is true. We did propose. We did literally propose. Alice is like, motherfuckers, you literally said you would marry him. I can't wait for my kid to have an epic journey and also fall in love with Cove. Heck yeah, Cal. It's going to be awesome. He must have felt you watching him because suddenly his eyes locked onto yours. It was difficult to see much in the dim light, but you could make out the crooked smile on his face well enough. I'm naming him Jacob, but I think we'll transgender later, thinking Amber. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. So, you didn't admit you had a crush on him. That's true, you have to straight up say it for him to get it. You grinned back at him. Yeah. Cove shrugged in his bed while still smiling, or at least you thought he did. You then gestured for him to come over. We are the instigator. We are the instigator. Emphasis on the gay in instigator. Like, basically what happened is Cygnus found out that Cove was willing to climb into my window, and now he's like, now Cygnus is like, I will get Cove to do anything for me, because I will do anything for him. Cove looked unsure about it, but you were happy to see him slowly start to sit up anyway. His sleeping bag rustled as he moved, though he tried to go slow, and froze up like a deer in headlights every time he made a sound, watching his parents, or any sign of movement. Eventually, he managed to maneuver around his sleeping dad, and made it to the ladder, standing on the bottom rung where he looked up at you and whispered. What? You invited him up to the loft. Instigator! Instigator! I'm not even looking at the other options. Oh, but Haya's also adorable. Oh yeah, Haya's also adorable, but no, we are on the sniper. We are in the sniper's perch. We've got the rifle, and we're just taking the shots. We are taking the shots. Just no scope after no scope. Let's go. You want to come up? His eyes widened just so. You could only tell because he had come to where you were. Your mums think Cove is the instigator, but no, it's you. Story of my life. Cove glanced behind him quickly at his sleeping parents before turning back to you. Okay. You broke out a grin and scooched back as far as you could, making space for Cove to crawl in. He was very tall, so it wasn't a great fit for him, but he managed to squeeze himself in. Hey, I'm also tall, so it's gonna be a real tight squeeze for the two of us. Coves are just where instigators sit. Yeah, see? See? You understood how that felt, and with the two of you in the loft together, there was barely any room to move. There doesn't need to be. Yep, okay. Yeah, no, Cygnus is so in love, what, right? You laid down next to each other on your sides, face to face. He got under the blanket a bit. One of his arms was nestled under his head for comfort. The other had nowhere to go and was rested alongside his chest on the floor of the loft. Cove spoke to you softly. So, what am I doing here? The sleepy eyes, yeah. There was a lot of effort put into this. Thought we could hang out. You could sleep here instead of the floor. I don't know. Yeah, I could see Cygnus being like, I don't know, I just wanted to get you here. But also, we're gonna round two. You can sleep here. Same, and I'm trans femme. Help. Cove raised an eyebrow, having not expected you to bring that up now. I'm not sure about this. Cove swallowed loudly, and you noticed he wouldn't look you in the eyes anymore. You felt comfortable being so close to him, but you were feeling the nervousness too. Yeah, okay, let's have some gay nerves. You two had gotten really close over the years, but this was a different kind of closeness. You couldn't fully explain how you were feeling, but you wanted to continue getting closer to Cove. You thought back to earlier in the evening when you and Cove had been talking alone on the sofa. He had definitely been flirting then, and now you were here. You nudged closer to him. Uh-huh. You inched towards Cove slowly, your legs pressing together in the very limited space. Cove's face flushed dark enough to notice even in the most pitch black RV cabin. The hand resting in front of him tightened, balling into a fist. You okay?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm fine. I'm not dying or anything. Sombra, you still got that, like, that paint color, guide anywhere? Cove's eyebrows bent up nervously, but his smile widened. No, Cove, you are definitely dying. He followed your lead and curled himself deeper into the loft and closer to you. I was literally just looking for a paint color name. Look at this stupid grin. Oh my fucking god, I can't with this. I can't with this. He looked away as he did it. There was almost no space left between he and you. Cove's breath tickled the side of your face. For a moment, you stayed together like that. Neither of you spoke a word. When your eyes locked again, Cove seemed to be almost taken aback by the situation. As though it hadn't completely hit him what it was going to feel like to do this until just now. He opened his mouth to say something, but shut it tight before anything came out. Solid pepper red. It's there. It's there. It's there. Okay, but not too fast. Gotta boundaries. Yeah, okay. I'm legitimately going to save scum this because... And here's why. So I'm going to talk real for a second. If the implication here is that we pressure him into this, I'm not accepting that, and I will bounce back. If it's written like you kind of lean in and he leans into it because he wants it too, great. But if it, like, at all is worded like we're forcing it, that's not what I want here. Just because I can't control the nuance of this option here. But so if it's written like the way I would, like, awkwardly, like, and then it happens, great. If it's like you just fucking lay one on him and he's not cool with it, we're gonna Uno reverse card that. So, take the shot, Captain. You moved in even closer, eyes half closed. As your lips inched towards his, so slowly. Cove froze immediately. You could feel his body trembling against you as you neared. You grew close enough to be one motion away from placing your lips together. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Then, all at once, he bolted upright, completely forgetting the restrictions and location, and smacking his head against the roof of the RV with a loud crack, making you gasp aloud. Ow! Cove, are you okay? Cove didn't answer, and fell back to the loft floor in a flustered pile. He pressed one hand against his head and the other over his face as he groaned in pain. Oh, we're in so much shit. The sounds of movements in the RV below startled you, and when you looked around over the side, you noticed Cliff had similarly shot up and was looking around wildly.
What's wrong?
Oh no. 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 Yup. Yikes in chat. Cove's dad. Wake up, people. Something happened. Cove reached over to where Kyra was on the couch, and she whined as he shook her out of sleep deep enough to not be interrupted by the chaos. What's going on? Then the lights came on, and you scrambled under the blanket to avoid being seen, but it was too late. Y'all, we girl bossed a little too close to the sun. It is time for living through the embarrassing stories that will be told for the rest of your lives. It'll make a great story at the wedding.
What?
Cove, where are you? Cygnus, are you... Oh. Oh no! Yeah, this is rough. We're all in it together, everybody. It only took a second to figure out where her son had gone, and as soon as you heard Cliff's chuckle, and you soon heard Cliff's chuckle as he, too, realized. Rip to both of them, the embarrassment will be worse than any punishment. The entire... Yeah, I'm feeling it too. I'm feeling it in my soul. You were warned there wasn't much room up there, bud. Cove groaned terribly again, but this time, it was out of humiliation. He moved the hand from his sore scalp to also cover his shame rather than face his parents. The bud. Yup.
Hey!
Oh no. Oh no. Oh, fuck! What's with all the noise out here? Y'all, we girl bossed way too close to the sun. Mistakes were made. To your horror, the door at the back of the RV opened and Elizabeth, as well as your moms, peeked their heads out into the hall. Never living this down forever. Is everything okay?
Sorry.
It's nothing. Sorry for waking you up. Cove crawled into himself, completely humiliated, as he apologized a couple more times. Not loud enough for anyone other than you to hear, though. You laughed. You just tried to check on him. No, we're gonna make sure Cove is okay. Hey, how's your head? With another whimper, he pushed himself up onto his side. I should probably get Mom to look at it. Someone please use the Men in Black pen on me. Oh no. Yeah, we girl bossed directly into the sun. Kyra casually came on over to the edge of the loft. She patted her son on the back. Come to mama, baby. You can't stay there. There was no putting it off. Cove climbed down the ladder. Say you thought there was a spider up there. Say something. Anything. His face still red as a tomato when he reached the bottom. His dad gave him a nudge on the shoulder as he passed, trying to hold back renewed laughter as his mom pulled him over to give his head a quick look over. Pepper red and now cherry tomato red. After announcing it wasn't anything more serious than a bump, Cove shuffled over to his sleeping bag on the ground. He collapsed into it, not caring if he should be more cautious with his head right now. Rewind, it's not too late.
Sure.
Alright, show's over. Let's all get some sleep. You could hear the snickers from the back of the RV from your moms and Elizabeth. They had really been watching this unfold like it was a piece of entertainment. But at that, they quickly said goodnight and headed to bed. 0% of the people present will believe that. That is true. With nothing more you could do, you laid back down as the lights went off again. You stayed there completely still until sleep finally overtook you. Holy fuck. Oh. I would like to never experience that again. Good grief. Okay, more steak food time. Okay. Let's okay, everyone. Let's have a check-in. How are we doing, chat? I don't think I've ever had that much secondhand embarrassment in my life. I am so sorry, chat. So do we plan on saves coming, or... Oh my god, okay. So here's the thing. I'm genuinely undecided. So embarrassing it drew a dumb rat out of her slumber. Because... for once, I don't have secondhand embarrassment. I'm happy for you, Pint. So here's the thing. Kind of want to see what happens if you pick Snuggle closer. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to see... this is one of the only times we're going to look at both timelines and choose which one we want. I feel like after putting you all through the secondhand embarrassment, we have to see if we get something better. The TVA will remember that. The TVA doesn't exist anymore. Let's find out. You snuggled against him. Let's go. You closed the distance completely and nuzzled your face into the top of his head. His hair was soft. Cove stiffened up and let out a yelp, which he quickly bit down on his lip to stifle. Oh, yep. Sorry, thank you. My bad. Yeah, I fixed it. I feel like I'm gonna need an alert. I feel like I need an alert that's just like exclamation mark scene to remind me to switch, because sometimes I don't see chat out of the corner of my eye when I'm reading. Cove stiffened up and let out a yelp, which he quickly bit down on his lip to stifle. He gave you an apologetic look. This still wasn't bad for him, just surprising. After a few more minutes, he settled in, his breaths deep and steady. He moved his head into the crook of your neck. You could feel his lips curved into a smile, and it made you happier to know that he was enjoying the moment too. This is really cute. Oh. I don't know if it's the sacred timeline, but it's definitely a better timeline. The two of you fell asleep before long, cuddled up together. I don't know if this is the sacred timeline, Sombra. I don't know if there's a timeline where we get out of this unscathed. When you woke up the next morning, it was to the rumble of the RV as it traveled the long journey home. You noticed quickly that you weren't as warm as you had been during the night, and when you checked next to you, Cove was gone. Okay, maybe we do get away with it here. Blinking sleepily, you peeked over the edge of the loft to find out where he had gone. Maybe he had snuck back to his spot on the floor during the night? However, you soon noticed him sitting on the couch talking quietly with his mum, his head hung in embarrassment. Uh-oh, Mom found us! Your movement gave you away, and Kyra looked up and caught your eye. She simply smiled amusedly at you, and it was obvious what had happened. Cove hadn't gotten away with it. They found him there in the loft, and then you woke up while he was trying to explain. You knew it was going to be a long, long time before you lived this one down, if you ever did. Ah yes, this man's Afrontom, how you doing? Soon, your moms and Elizabeth emerged from their room, dressed and ready for the day of travel. You spend most of the day hanging out together in the RV, savoring the last few hours of vacation. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you missed the scene. We did save Scum a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, I mean, she literally saw us cuddling. We went for the kiss first. But I don't feel fully good about it because, like, it was played up for comedic effect, but I genuinely don't feel fully good about the fact that Cove, like, lurched away. So, like, I wasn't feeling super hot on the consent thing there. So I feel like this is better. Because if it had given me an option before, like, pursuing harder, if there was any tentativeness from Cove, I would have pulled back. But this, yeah, we're still busted, and hopefully it's just Kyra who knows, but that also probably means that Cliff knows too. Because the two of them talk. You spend most of the day hanging out together in the RV, savoring the last few hours of vacation. Kyra is definitely telling the whole group, but it'll be privately and not in front of you. Cove just feels bad for the kiss. Oh, thank you, Azura. I mean, it is true. I mean, hugs are a thing, too. You consent to hugs just like anything else. You don't owe anybody anything. Kyra suggested a few different travel games she used to play with Cove when he was younger, and you all had a great time competing against each other. A little later in the day, you tried to talk to Cove about what happened in the loft, but he simply apologized and changed the subject. Cove just kind of got into his own head a little too much and panicked. Yeah, and that's valid, but, like, that feels rough. I don't want to put the pressure on him. It's 5 a.m. I'm a go. Afrin Tom, thank you so much for stopping by. I know it's super early, but I appreciate you being here. Salt, being a lovely person. Wow, so surprising. Never would have guessed. Yeah, I'm evil. Totally didn't sleep for like 12 hours. Oh, damn. I hope you're getting good rest, though, at least. It was a bit too much for him to try speaking on, especially right now. You understood. Well, damn, so it is 5 a.m. now. How about that? Whole body is numb now. Oh, jeez. I hope you're okay. Sold evil, that's why he's friend with Demon Azura. Yeah, you caught me. Oh, that's why I wanted to commit crimes. Yep, we're all a bad influence. When the RV finally pulled onto your street, it was well into the night, and you were looking forward to crawling into your own bed after the last few days away. You just need to move. Alright, fair enough. Arson? You know, murder, arson, jaywalking, the 3 big crimes. Everyone else must have been feeling the same, because it was mutually agreed that unpacking and cleaning the RV would wait until morning. Once home again, you went straight up to your room and dropped onto your bed, shoes and all. Our son, I didn't know he had one. Oh my god, no, not jaywalking. Yes, jaywalking. Here's what we're gonna do. Here's what we're gonna do, lads. We're gonna go up to the street. And even though there's a stoplight 10 feet that way, and a stoplight 15 feet the other way, we're going to look right across that road. We're going to wait for a small gap in cars, and then we are going to precariously speed walk across that street, giving no fucks to anybody else, because that's how we fucking roll. That's how the Sodium Court gets street cred. Once again, you went straight up to your room and dropped onto your bed, shoes and all. I'd rather murder someone than that. What the fuck? What can I say? We're hardcore in this chat. Happy to be in your own bed. It felt weird to be alone, felt good to be alone. You wish you're still on the trip. You missed being near Cove. Yeah, the boys got it bad. The two of you had basically been living together for the last 3 days. It was nice. Don't worry, you will be again in 10 years. Take care, Afrin Tom. Thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate it. But you knew it wouldn't be the last time the two of you would spend time together, and that thought comforted you. With those last few thoughts drifting through your mind, it wasn't long before you dozed off to sleep. Tomorrow, life would go on like normal. Bam. I will take that ending. Let's see. It is... We're in the awkward time. We are in that awkward time. Are any of these shorter than others? You're gonna head to bed because of 5 a.m.? No problem, Sombra. You get yourself some sleep. Appreciate you being here as always. If they're not, that's fine. We can just vibe for a minute. Summer work is kind of short. Alright, let's crack through summer work. Let's do one more. That way we're in a good position to possibly finish part 2 next week. You stared out the window, watching the scenery pass by as your mom drove down the quiet streets at a leisurely pace. A singer crooned sweetly from the radio, turned low enough that you could block it out if you wanted. You turned away from the window when your mom suddenly spoke up. Well, kids, aren't you excited to be going to the library? Welcome back to the car commercial. What's the name of an RV? I literally don't know any RV names because I respect myself. Or SUV, I should say. Ah, perfect. Can block it out. Cygnus not autistic confirmed. Yeah, it's true. With all-wheel drive, power steering, and the greatest in luxury controls, the Subaru Crosstrek is everything that you need for the family on the go. Also, it would be a Subaru because Subarus are for the lesbians. Could just be ADHD or something. Let's be real here. Cygnus is taking up a lot of my personality traits here. Subaru, yep. Yeah, can't wait to get there. Mom laughed, catching your eye in the rearview mirror and winking. Don't know why I asked. I already know how you feel about it. Taking a trip down to the library had always been something that you enjoyed.
So,
What about you, Cove? You're part of the conversation too.
Not really.
Not really. If I didn't have school stuff to do, I'd probably be somewhere else.
I see.
I get it. I wasn't so keen on the library in my day either. Really? Well, no. Unless you count under 6 years old as my day. She grinned over at the two of you briefly. Messy bun destroying you as usual. Yep. Mom refocused on driving, humming along with the radio under her breath. You went back to staring outside. I'm really curious to see how the parents age in chapter 3. As you passed one street, you caught a glimpse of someone in brightly colored clothing passing out balloon animals. It sparked a faraway memory, and you felt your lips twitching up before you consciously remembered why. How long ago was it that you and Cove watched the amazing Alexander performing magic tricks? Left middle finger has been destroyed for days and I'm getting annoyed. Oh, Zura, I'm really sorry. That fucking sucks. Hey, Cove, do you remember that one guy?
Maybe.
Maybe I do. Alexander, the amazing Alexander. He gave us dolphin balloons for free. Might be hard to type in chat when I've melted into a puddle. Oh no. At this reminder, Cove smiled faintly.
Oh.
Oh yeah, I wonder if he's ever there now. Maybe we should go more often to check. Maybe. That was the first time we ever went down that street together, I think. I miss Pop. He was a good balloon for that one afternoon I had him. Yeah. Hey, Cove, what were you going to name your balloon? Before it popped, I mean. You never told me. Huh. I don't know. I can't remember what Kid Me was thinking. Probably something obvious, like Flipper. You couldn't help the way your own smile curled up higher at the sentiment. You wanted to say something else, but you couldn't quite think of what, so you just settled back into your seat. Makes computer use hard, but thanks. Yeah, that's so tough. When silence filled the car again, you returned your attention to the window. It was an absolutely gorgeous day. You leaned your face to the sunshine, tempted to close your eyes as the gentle rays warmed your cheeks. Cygnus? Huh? You lifted yourself up a bit more, seeing your mum twisting her torso to face you, confused from the front seat of the car. Next to you was nothing. Cove's car door was already open. You had reached the destination before you'd even realized it. I was asking, what time should I pick you two up? Oh, 4 should be okay. That should give you enough time to finish your summer assignments, or at least make a large enough dent. Thanks, Mum. You hopped out of the car, remembering to grab your backpack at the last second.
Alright.
Alright then, have fun, you two. We will. You closed the door, giving a little wave. She waved back. The two of you went right to the door of the library. Cove reached it first, tugging it open, stepping inside. He kept it propped open so you could pass through behind him. The air was much colder inside the building than it had been for the few seconds you spent outdoors. The space was filled with the soft din of papers being moved and whispered voices. Hey, you seem kind of distracted on the ride here. Just enjoying the day. Want to walk around for a bit?
What?
What? I'm distracted. So? Cove looked dangerously close to rolling his eyes. Don't tempt me. Cove's eyes strayed towards the door. You considered trying to persuade him despite his protests, but eventually you talked yourself out of it. Maybe if Derek wasn't waiting. Your study buddy was standing in front of the library by a long rack of magazines. Predictably, he was flipping through one of the various sports players on the cover. He was flipping through one with various sports players on the cover, looking intense enough to burst off the page. His head snapped up when you walked over, beaming widely. Hey Cygnus, Cove. Hi, were you waiting a while? Not super long. Derek put the magazine back in its place, then he gestured to the space at his side. Most of the tables were empty, only a few people leafing through books. There's plenty of room. In an unspoken agreement, the three of you started moving towards the seating area, Derek taking 2 steps for every one of Cove's. Oh, guess what? I'm pretty sure I've mastered the fake shot. I'll show you some other time. Derek looked over to gauge the level of interest. Do you know it? Soccer's not really for me. All the sporty stuff Cove liked was beach-related. Surfing, snorkeling, bodyboarding. He didn't play a lot of team games, but he did like doubles volleyball. How does it go? Derek's eyes flashed with excitement as he explained.
Okay.
Well, you move the ball like you're going to go one way, then... He demonstrated by running a few steps ahead, showing off some fancy footwork. You do it like this, so it does it like that. You laughed, bobbing your head at his attempt to get the trick across with no ball. Shh! The three of you looked over to the checkout desk. The librarian stood behind it and was wearing a deep frown. You were apologetic. You mouthed sorry, and she sighed before turning back to the book she was reading. Doubles volleyball so he can play it with Cygnus. Yep, the 2 tall boys playing volleyball. We just win. We just win. All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Derek scratched his cheek, choosing not to let that derail things.
Oops.
So, what are you guys working on? What weren't you working on? There were some things you'd gotten to start with. You had yet to start a single assignment. Sadly, you had yet to start a single assignment because you didn't feel like it. You had a few assignments to work on, but you hadn't sat down and decided which to focus on this afternoon or anything. Both my parents are both librarians. The thing is so overplayed. Yeah, I know. You can win gold no matter what Lizzie might think, because at least beach volleyball is actually an Olympic sport. Yeah, take that, Lizzie. You just grabbed all of them and chucked them into your backpack. You figured you could pick when the time came. Work on history, got some math. We have to do this timeline thing. It made sense to work on that while you were here, since you'd probably need to consult the reference books. There's some summer reading too. I have to go through an assigned book, but I'm going to do that later since it doesn't need extra references or anything. What about you two? I've got a few worksheets. They look pretty easy, but my school gave us 3 books to read. Why can't they stick with just one? I'm also doing the timeline. You all found a table close to the tall bookshelves and set up camp. Within seconds, pencils, folders, and books were strewn about the surface. Throwback to reference books, yeah, when that actually existed. You focused on your work. You just looked out the window again. Yeah, we're gonna try it. Let's channel the hyperfocus. Let's go. You were pretty confident you could get it done before your mom was set to return. But I fed Victoria, and when she grabbed her rash, she accidentally coiled around her branch too. Oh boy. Silly goose. You checked the requirements on the homework sheet your teacher had given you, and then opened your textbook to the pages you needed. After some time, Cove shifted in his seat, twisting his back as if trying to work knots out of it. Feeling antsy? Paid enough attention to Cove to recognize when he was no longer feeling comfortable. Yeah, I'm gonna wander around for a bit.
Talk to you later.
See you, I'm gonna stay here. I'm making good progress. I'll come too, because head empty, only gay. You might as well take the opportunity to refresh yourself before getting back to work. Absolute animal moment. We love animals. They're so good. Also, Cove is making me crave Henley shirts post-surgery. There you go. Wow, holy shit. Did you finish, Pella? Have you finished the story? The two of you strolled away from where you'd been working. Your eyes roamed over the titles of the books as you passed by. Things are getting so bad, Squeenix is stopping selling the game. Oh, with the servers? Wow, so they're not going to sell any more copies of the game until they can get more servers? Holy fuck. Azuro will look like a rock star, is true. I mean, Azuro already looks like a rock star. The two of you strolled away from where you'd been working. Your eyes roamed over the titles of the books as you passed by. That is super intense. Some were dull, some intriguing, and others were just strange, but you didn't spot anything that made you pause and pick it up. Looking for something? No, but something might catch my eye. You never know. I might go out of here, if there's enough time. His comment reminded you of the clock ticking away. Even after you'd finished your work for the summer, the countdown to the new school year would still be on track. Before you know it, we'll be back at class. Yeah, we just got out and it's almost here again. Are you looking forward to going back? Oh no, Pella, it's gonna be okay. You got this. Dear friend in game, for anyone who doesn't know. She's talking about Final Fantasy XIV. Cove rubbed his arm, drawing your attention to the scar he'd earned as a reckless kid with his far-off gaze. Not really. I don't want summer to end. I wish everything wasn't always decided for me. I want to grow up already. Cove didn't feel safe knowing it was others who really determined what his life was like. You understood that much. In the game, but they're real in my heart. Yes, I know, but not everybody knows you're playing 14, and we've already had one person think that there were 14 restaurant servers die without context, so I'm making sure there's context so people don't think that, like, a dear friend of yours is dying too. You touched him softly. Yep, we're at that point now. Instinctively, you reached out to him. Your thumb stroked the back of his hand in a way you hoped was comforting. But there's a chance we could end up in the same classes. That would be nice. You nodded, glad he was cheering up some. Trust Cove to look on the bright side. He didn't used to, so that's a good sign. I'd like that. A smile spread across his face, crinkling his eyes.
So...
What about you? Do you want to go back to school already? No? Made you depressed just thinking about it. Cove nodded, obviously getting where you were coming from. There really was no getting away from the topic of school right now. It prompted you to think back to the classes you were in. You pursed your lips. History class, English... English was enjoyable. You liked the books you had to read in English class. The writing assignments were engaging too. You'd hope there'd be more cool experiments this coming semester. I mean, I'm bringing them back in Fic if they don't come back. Yeah, I fully expect there to be a lot of 14 Fic when you're done Endwalker. Each lost in your own thoughts, you continued to scroll through the library for a little while longer until Cove caught your attention again. We should probably head back. Yeah, let's go. Before you could take a step back, Cove cleared his throat, avoiding your gaze. Thanks for listening before. Anytime. Cove smiled, his cheeks pink. You jerked your head towards where Derek had been left studying. Time to get back to work. Cove and you rejoined with Derek and settled back in as quietly as you could manage. Work continued as normal from there. The sound of shuffling dragged you out of your head. You looked up, surprised to see Derek packing up. You're done? Derek casually shrugged, but you could tell he felt proud to be the first finished. Uh-huh, I told you it wasn't anything hard. What are you going to do now? You wondered how Derek was going to spend his newfound freedom.
Maybe.
I could look over what you're doing. Maybe I've got some tips that'll help. Yeah, sure.
I gotcha.
I gotcha. With a smile, Derek leaned over your part of the table. He took some time to get the gist and point you in the right direction before turning it back over to you. Derek leaned on the back of his feet. Okay, I'm gonna look around while you guys finish. See you. I like Derek. Derek's a cute kid. Bye. See you. Later on, Cove shifted in his seat, closing his book as he looked over the notes he'd been taking. Glancing away, you contemplated what you had done thus far, too. You had finished it all. Just as you thought, it hadn't been that difficult, and you wrapped it up already. Couples need friends, absolutely. Derek's advice made it easier in the end. Are you ready? It's almost 4. Yeah, I think so. Come on. Both of you gathered up your books, and after returning the ones you'd used for reference to the proper shelves, set off to find wherever Derek had wandered off to. He was in the biographies section. His back was to the two of you, one hand above his head and the other supporting himself against the shelf as he strained to grab one of the books. Hey Derek, we're ready. Oh, okay. He glanced towards the sound of your voice and then up towards the shelf he was trying to reach. I can get that for you. Yeah, thanks, Cygnus. Don't return your library books to the shelves. Whoops. Derek directed you towards the book you wanted. It was an autobiography of someone you'd never heard of before. And then the three of you moved to the front of the library to wait for your rides. You put them in the designated reshelving area. They're trying to be helpful. Yeah, I was gonna say Alice is also just being like, no, don't do that. You stood close to the window and let out a content sigh, feeling the rays warm you from the slightly chilly library interior. Got any plans after this? Gonna work on my technique. Can't get rusty while school's out. That answer was inevitable. Technique for what? Football. How about you two? The words you two echoed in your mind. You knew what Derek meant, but why was it bringing a smile to your face to be linked with Cove, even in the most tenuous circumstance? Because we're gay. Nothing planned. Me neither. Oh, that's my dad's car. Derek lifted a hand to wave, pushing the door open and heading towards the blue pickup truck waiting in the parking lot. But that's how the public library is being used, which helps with funding. Oh, interesting. I guess your grade school library is a bit, like your school library might be a bit different.
Talk to you later.
See you, Cygnus. Bye, Cove. You watch Derek jog off before scanning the area for your mom. Pardon me. Did you get everything done? Sort of. I saw you're done. He smiled, impressed. You felt pretty good about that. I feel like I'll need to come back to the library again before summer's over. Governments fund public libraries challenge impossible. Fucking mood. Even if your assigned work was done, you might have to double check some things or do preparation for the start of the year. I'll come with you. I still have those books to read anyway. You smiled at the idea. Despite not working on the same thing, it'd be nice to have some company. I'm good with that. Hey, do you want to do something with me after this? Oh, sure. Cove seemed eager towards the offer. You hadn't exactly expected him to say no, but the agreement still made you happy. The two of you smiled at each other. Cove looked away after a second, and you did too, fidgeting with the hem of your shirt. The two of them are still so gay for each other. Wanted to get a TPL card, but then COVID hit. They almost never have books I want other than through U of T, and I'm not a student, so I have limited access. Sometimes you just got to be on a wait list for a long time. Wasn't long before you spied your mom's car coming down the road. There she is.
All right.
Time to go then. You climbed in the car, sliding into your usual seats and buckling the belts. Hey kiddos, did you get a lot done? I'm done.
Nice.
Amazing. The car shifted into action, and you watched as the library shrunk into the distance. Just need to cry for a sec. Oh, Pella, I'm so sorry. That and satanic academic books are extremely niche. That's also fair. Wouldn't be the last time you saw it this summer. Even better, you were going to have good company with you. You were already counting down the days. You fielded questions from Mom while you tried to juggle a conversation with Cove. When she learned you two were planning on returning, she immediately offered to give you a ride the next time. Whoops. You continued to answer Mom's questions about what you've been working on, and then told her about your plans to stick with Cove after getting back. There was something knowing in her smile that made you pause just for a moment. But soon enough, your trip was over, and you had arrived back at the neighborhood. Cove had run over to his house real quick to drop off his stuff. You also made a pit stop to put your backpack away before heading out again. The two of you regrouped in the middle of the road, halfway between your houses. U of T is pretty stingy about who they let get a library card. It's kind of annoying. With everything wrapped up, you can now freely enjoy the rest of the afternoon. Your conversation resumed as you both began walking down the street together. The afternoon came and went, dinner was eaten, and now you were cleaning up the dishes left behind from it. Cove had elected to stay for the meal today. He passed you a couple plates to rinse in the sink. Even though he didn't have to, Cove asked to at least do something to help. You scrubbed the last of them and let out a satisfied sigh. Okay, they're done. I'm going upstairs now. You addressed your guest for the evening. You gonna come with me? That's stupid? Yep, welcome to U of T. They want money. Yeah, exactly, Azura.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have to go back till later. Take it easy, kids. Thank you for the help. When you go back to your room, you notice your backpack from earlier. You figured it would be best to unpack the stuff you needed before going to bed. Cove plopped onto your desk chair and spun around a bit as he got comfortable. He watched you contentedly as you walked across the room. He didn't need or expect you to try entertaining him constantly. It was just nice to be near each other even when nothing was going on. You hefted your bag up onto the bed. It sunk into the comforter. With that, you started to sort through the books and paper packets. Not all of it were things you'd need anytime soon. A small pile of the most important assets began to grow out the side of your backpack until you'd gone over it all. You actually finished flipping through the contents, but that wasn't all of your work. You instinctively pulled the opening closer and peered inside. A second look through commenced, and then a third, and you began to open the smaller pockets. You were missing your history assignment. Cygnus? By this point, Cove could tell something was wrong. We fucked up. You had spent the better part of your day completely finishing it, and now it was gone. It hadn't been that noteworthy before, but the bag wasn't really zipped when you had first begun to look through. The work could have fallen out somewhere if you had it in the first place. You're upset by the revelation, but you made yourself stay calm. You started to panic. All you could do is shrug. Your stress level shot up. Stress level shooting up. It was gone, and now you're going to have to replace everything you did for it. My history work isn't in my backpack. At your word, Cove jumped out of his seat.
No way!
Oh crap, is there somewhere we can look? The bag was kind of open, so... You winced sympathetically. That left a lot of options for where it might be. Most of them bad. You made a sudden bolt for the other side of your room. You started to scour the spot the backpack was originally left in. Nothing in sight there, you expanded the search to the rest of the space. Cove did his best to stay out of your way, while keeping an eye open for your missing work. It was frantic, and ultimately a fruitless effort. Your assignment wasn't here. Let's check downstairs. It might still be in your house someplace. Fine.
How are you?
Why, hello again. Is everything alright? Hi, Ma. You told your mom what was going on. I unpacked my bag and one of my assignments wasn't there. Oh, I forgot about her. Welcome back, Alice. Snap you back to life. Ooh, I don't... archive.org? That's awesome.
I am so sorry.
Oh, sweetie, I'm so sorry. What's missing? An assignment for school from the library today. Mom's eyebrows raised with concern at the answer. That's a pickle. I'll call right now. They might still be open. Thanks, Mom.
You're welcome.
Cove, honey, can you tell us if there was anything you noticed? You were with Cygnus, right? I saw the assignment when Cygnus had it out of the library. I don't remember him putting it away, but I'm pretty positive there was nothing left on the table when we were done. He spoke resolutely. Before now, you hadn't considered that something might have been left behind. You had felt the same when leaving, though it was hard not to second-guess things now. Your mom re-entered the scene a few minutes later. The look on her face was not promising.
Well,
So I got a hold of one of the librarians. They don't have any papers with your name on them. Not that they could see anyway. I'm sorry. Pardon me. You groaned in frustration.
sweetie.
Aw, honey, we'll figure this out. Cygnus, hey, let's go over to my house. I can check my bag. Maybe I took it when we were packing up and didn't notice. Good idea. You got the impression this wasn't just about another place to look. You were stressed over the situation here. He was trying to give you an out. Let's go. Cove nodded and made his way to the door. Your mom stood by with creased brows. Take care, kids. Good luck. Bye, moms. You briskly made the trip across the street. In less than a minute, you were going through the threshold of Cove's house. Cove had been in a rush earlier today, too. His backpack was tossed on the couch without a thought. No one had moved it since then. You can sit down or anything. I'm gonna look. He lifted up the backpack and unzipped it with a fluid motion. You were left to wait as he rooted round inside with an unexpected level of seriousness. There's no way you could relax right now. There was definitely some panic earlier, but you had a little time to sort your thoughts. Whether you found it or not, you'd be able to make things work. Still, it was not possible to stop Cove on his quest, so you tried to relax in the meantime. Eventually, he sighed heavily. Cove's arm was still tucked away inside, but the search was over.
Sorry.
Well, it's okay, Cove. It was obvious there wasn't much of a chance Cove somehow had it this whole time. You just shrugged. That's alright. He dropped the backpack onto the floor unceremoniously and spoke with a cautious tone.
Are you okay?
Is it? You're really okay? I really am. I can get another copy and rewrite the stuff. It's nice of you to ask about it. That's cool. I'm glad. One of them is available just as an audiobook. Oh, okay. That does suck. Cove laughed lightly, and you noticed a small shake to it. He was clearly relieved you were going to get through this. It was sweet. He had been more upset about the loss than you. I think it's admirable how you can keep it together like that. You were grateful towards him. You were very flattered he thought so. Oh. Cove was someone you were close with, that's true, but you hadn't expected him to say you were admirable. It was nice. That is very true, Azura. It'll be nice to just have the books. The moment was interrupted by the piercing ring of the Holden home phone. You wordlessly stared at one another with raised brows. Cove's mouth formed a tiny frown. Kyra appeared from the hall on the far side of the living room, summoned by the noise.
Hey, yeah.
Hi, Cove. Hey, Cove. Hi, Cygnus. Didn't know you were here. You strolled on past. Your eyes followed her. Cove's mom answered the call, giving a chipper greeting to whoever was on the other end. A few uh-huhs and mm-hms later, Kyra thanked the person and placed the phone down once more. Cygnus, that was your ma. She said your stuff was in the car.
What?
Really? That's what I was told. Now, I'll just return to the guest room. You can have your privacy. Cove's face cycled from shock to sour as his mom made her escape, laughing. He shook the interruption off and refocused on you. They've got it. As you guessed, this wasn't going to be a big deal. They've got it. Cove smiled crookedly and shrugged one shoulder. You should probably head to your house. Your moms might want to talk to you. Yeah, my parents really care about me. They had kept searching even after you left. Because of all that, it worked out. Cove nodded in agreement. Cove, it means a lot that you stuck with me. Thanks. He brightened up with sparkling eyes.
Don't worry about it.
Anytime, Cygnus. While stepping toward the door together, there was one thought in your head you knew to be true. You were going to be there for one another, with the small things and when it came to the big things. Aw, that was sweet. That was sweet, and that was pretty short. That worked out nicely. That worked out really nicely. Alright, let me save. Perfect. All right. Let's see who's live right now that we can raid. It was very cute. It was a very, very good stream. It was nice to get back to this game too. It is really fun.